black alien cheats all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu Colors, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, family, that dang shit on my left. Your boy Stick.
Please don't go to Area 51.
Oh. On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, talking people out on the threes, sports brothers.
Nerds. So many nerds.
In the middle, we got the oldest ninja in the world, old ninja.
Beef can be cooked up and served, especially when it's Disney backs up a Brinks truck to your house and opens the door for you.
Last but not least, we got your boy Blue.
If you think your dad stealing your nose was fun, find out where Russia stole your whole entire face.
Oh, God.
Damn.
Fucking damn it.
Damn.
We left y'all last week, but we gonna double it up this week.
Oh, damn. We
Watching the
going.
video, the video's off, but the audio's still good. Okay, I gotta fix it.
Okay, so if you live in the chat, you can't see us. We extra black.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We had grid lines. We were in prison or some shit.
Ooh, we about to go so fucking hard on some shit right here. While Cronus is handling some of the technical stuff, old ninja, we had some malt beverages that need to be poured out.
Yeah, we finna pour out some of that Slits.
God,
Slits malt
forgot
liquor.
about that one.
Yeah, we gonna start off with Denise Nickerson. She's best known for her beloved role in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory as Violet Bogard. There.
Purple one, right?
Yeah, she turns into a giant plum.
Violet, you're turning violet. Violet?
Yeah, Violet turns Violet. Yeah, she played Violet. She stopped acting in like the 70s.
Yeah, wasn't that when the Wonka movies came out?
Yeah, but she did like two more after, and that was it. And she had a seizure, passed away at the age of 62.
R.I.P.
And then next we have Stephanie Niznik. She starred in NCIS, Star Trek Insurrection, but she's most famous for playing Nina Feeney on Everwood. So
okay.
Yeah, so most people remember her from there because she started out throughout the entire series. She passed away, I believe, last week. She was 52. Then we have Pernell Whittaker.
Sweet Pete.
Professional boxer known as the greatest defensive boxer of all time.
That's debatable at this point.
Yeah,
Arguable now.
I mean, he's nicknamed Sweet Pea. He's won multiple titles. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He was a victim of a hit and run in Virginia Beach. He was killed in the accident.
God damn.
He was 55.
Wait, so he was like a pedestrian in this hit and run?
Pedestrian. He was crossing the street. Someone hit him, took off.
God damn. They still haven't found this motherfucker, I'm assuming.
I have no idea. But I'm assuming they did, but you never know.
Shit.
But
I thought he was a defense.
If you can dodge a car, you can dodge a linebacker.
Damn.
Wait,
R.I.P.
it's football, right?
R.I.P. Rip and what the?
We're talking about a boxer.
Okay, my bad. I wasn't paying attention. I just heard defense, and I was like, all right, football.
Go sports, go.
Yeah.
Next we
Make them
have
balls.
Jeremy Kemp, British actor, most famous for playing Star Trek's Jean-Luc Picard's older brother. He only appeared in one episode, but he has been immortalized because of the episode.
Damn.
It's the only episode where the audience get to meet another Picard. Basically, you meet Picard's family in that episode, and you never see them again, pretty much. Kemp, he's been acting since the late 50s. His major roles were in the miniseries The Winds of War and the film The Blue Max. And next up we have Rutger Hauer. Rutger Hauer, he's basically an all-around famous bad guy. Everyone, you've seen him before, you probably just didn't know his name. He's an actor from the Netherlands. He's famous for being villains most of the time. His major claim to fame is in the cult classic Blade Runner. He also stars in another cult classic, which still has a following to this day. I have no idea why. Lady Hawk. He's won a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor in the film Escape from Sobibor. You can see him recently in projects such as Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sin City, Batman Begins, The Right, and Hobo with the Shotgun, which is actually another cult classic. He was 75.
Good shit, R.I.P.
All right, so kind of messed up earlier because I was fixing my camera. Since I was using my camera for San Diego Comic-Con, I turned all the settings back on and forgot to turn shit back off. So that's why you saw that weird grid when when we first started the podcast. Anyway, first in the chat would be the Something Something Cast.
Oh,
Hey,
what's up?
Thank you for being back in the chat room. We appreciate it. Thanks for still fucking with us. We still fuck with you. So yeah, welcome back. Listener of the week.
We still didn't do roast there.
Well, the listener for the I guess past couple weeks will be Hayden Rousseau.
Good shit.
Pretty sure it's Rousseau. There's a lot of letters in there, but I'm pretty sure it's just Rousseau.
All right.
Are you sure they were the first one?
Well, the first one, I can't say the first one. The first one's in Arabic.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Shout out to him,
you.
too.
I cannot pronounce your name because it's in Arabic, even though my name's in Arabic, but I cannot read Arabic. So if it was in Roman letters, I could probably do my best,
Yeah.
but it is not.
You want to hear something crazy? You remember the TV show Teletubbies, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how like in the sun there was a baby in the sun?
I heard about this.
The face,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a face of a baby and it would like laugh, whatever. That baby just recently had a baby. Like that's how long that show's been on the air, or was on the air.
Shit.
It's been a minute, I
Crazy.
guess, yeah.
Why are we so old, y'all?
Yeah, right.
Why are we so old?
Never mind.
Kronos and Old Ninja went to San Diego, the biggest con in the fucking world, San Diego Comic-Con. Gentlemen, what'd y'all think?
Jesus Christ, it was fucking big.
That's what she said.
I guess let's start with just day by day because we left Wednesday
morning?
super early in the morning. I drove all the way down. Old Ninja took a nap.
I did.
Well, that was your normal sleeping time anyway, right?
Yeah,
So.
I normally sleep at 5, and I stayed up that whole day just to sleep on the way down.
Yeah, so we drive down. We go to my brother's place because there's a place in Chula Vista. Thank you very much.
We call him the captain on the cast, do we not?
Yes, the captain. He's got a fireman's mustache now. It's kinda,
shit.
Yeah.
You went there. You doubled down?
Yeah. I'm just like, now you can fight fire. So I look like the guy.
I thought it was a porn stash.
That's what I asked. Is it a porn stash?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. Well, he grew a porn stash. I didn't want to say anything.
So did he have like the handlebars and everything
Yeah,
too? The choppers?
almost.
Comes down. It's like a full mustache.
Damn.
That's the first time I ever seen him with like facial hair, I think.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Yeah, he never usually has facial hair. Anyway,
Yeah, shout out to the captain.
Yeah.
Came through for us. Much love.
so we stopped by there real quick. Went to Comic-Con for a preview night. We grabbed some food first. We didn't eat most of the whole day.
No, we drank like water.
Yeah. Just had some water and that was it. We went to preview night and I was immediately pretty much pissed off.
What up?
There's two sides to the story.
What the fuck?
Two sides.
Yeah,
There's-
yeah, because his experience is different than mine.
No, you saw my experience. It's not two sides.
Yeah, well,
you
my
experienced it with me.
my experience was different.
No, okay, tell
no,
a story and we'll tell. Go ahead.
So, well, we should talk about the VR thing first, because we went to.
You already mentioned this thing.
Yeah, you can talk about it. Talk about it.
So
we did it.
How's that a
yeah,
setup?
we did the VR thing first. That's
Yeah.
that's what this is what the VR thing sets up this, because we went to separate.
Okay. Yeah. So we did the VR thing first.
All right. Virtual
and-
reality.
Yeah. And it had like a really cool thing, like a different hotel. I think it was in the Hilton, the Marriott, or some shit.
Something like that.
Doesn't really matter. It was pretty cool to see, some more VR stuff. There's a guy I'm going to hit up, probably to have on the podcast. He was a gentleman that was doing AR with comic books. And so it was called, I think it was something to Lazarus.
Shit. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the black guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, he was at not SVR, at AWE last year, and he basically
He claims he's never been.
Yeah, he said he'd never been, which is kind of weird.
it was either AWE or the Silicon Valley Comic-Con. No, it was the one I went to by myself.
Maybe it
He
was
said
Comic-Con.
he said his Oh
No,
it,
it wasn't Comic-Con.
it might have been WonderCon.
Did he do a thing where like he showed people what it was like being on like riots and shit?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
We'll do a short.
Wrong
We'll
black
do a
guy?
video on it later. It was pretty cool. Actually, I could probably just pull it up right now.
I assume there's not that many black people doing VR stuff. So.
There wasn't. His whole squad was black.
But this is, you said it was comic book based.
Yeah.
So the comic book was called Reign of the Underdog, featuring Lazarus.
There you go.
And basically, when you took your phone or a tablet or something, you put it over and you looked at the page, it would pop up out of the page like a comic.
With animation.
Yeah.
But you have to put on some.
No. Just literally, you just point your phone at it.
Okay.
With the AR app, the technology is called Edge XR.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. And he only had one page, but he said he's gonna obviously animate and AR the entire comic book, which is pretty dope. So it's kind of like the possible future of going through comics.
Cool. And so he was at a hotel near right near the
Yeah.
event. Okay.
What was it called again?
It was called Reign of the Underdog, featuring Lazarus.
All right. So what happened at the VR that pissed y'all
Oh,
off?
VR was fine.
Yeah, VR was fine.
VR was cool. I mean, we saw a bunch of stuff. Like we saw another because now they're using VR and AR for which I thought what they're going to do was using it for job applications and training. So Raymond was there. Raymond's a company, and they make forklifts. And so I put on a VR headset, and they were like, you could learn how to use this forklift using VR. So it was pretty dope.
That was kind of like how that one company had the welding thing we did.
Yeah.
Big old critic.
Yeah, there was also that, and then I got to try Beat Saber, which is the famous one where you can do the lightsabers where you got to do it to a beat, and it was actually pretty cool. It's not as, I guess there's numerous settings because all the developers are playing on expert, so if you're new, they set you on easy, so you can get the feel of the song and how the sabers work, because you can do up and down, sideways, and you have to match the color as well. It's available on Steam already, so there you go.
Yeah, it's been out for a while, actually.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun having it there.
And they had some other stuff. We just didn't get a chance to check it out because we had to get to the con, which is preview night. And that's where we split up.
This is where we split up.
Yeah, because you went to go get your badge first, and I was doing something.
You went to go feed the meter, feed the beast.
Yeah.
So I went in to the con, and this is where I want to say 5:30, 6 o'clock ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the line wasn't crazy long, but it was still pretty long. And I went up, and I saw a dude holding the door open, and I was just gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna ask, because #WePress. I'm like, hey, is there press interest? He's all, you press? He's all, come on in. So I go in, I go with the crowd, get my my spot, because I already had my badge. My badge got mailed to me. I just needed the backpack that they give you, and the lanyard, and like a guide, and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So I went there, and then I was able to jump the line, because they're like, hey, if you already have your badge, go here.
You love doing that.
Yeah, I went over, and I went through the line, and I was like, oh, I got my stuff. I come out, and I meet up with Cronus and the captain. So
Did your backpack come with a pin?
it did. No, my badge came with a pin.
Oh, okay. Because I know last year the backpack came with a pin, and a lot of people didn't know that. So it wasn't until maybe the next day somebody's like, hey, there's a pin in your backpack, and I look, and it's in the side corner there's a little pin. It was a Robin pin. I was like, I didn't even know this fucking thing was there.
Yeah.
This whole fucking time.
Yeah, I got a couple of bags and stuff, so yeah, that's pretty dope. So I get there, and I go to get in and get my my lanyard. Well, I already had a lanyard, I brought one, but I wanted to get all the other swag. It came with a bag, all this stuff.
The program.
Yeah, so just to get in, they only had one door open, and it wouldn't let. So this is still the same story. It's not two sides of the story. It's the same fucking story. Well, I tried to get in, and they were like, no, and Old Ninja was like, well, we'll just go to the other entrance, and the same guy that let him in was like, no, you can't get in. You have to go to this one entrance. So they had literally thousands of people going through one fucking door.
You ain't getting in with those shoes.
And there's people manned at every single door telling you to go to this one door. I'm like, why don't you just open all the fucking doors?
They did that to us last year too.
So stupid.
Yeah, they did that shit last year too.
Yeah.
It's so fucking dumb.
I was hella pissed.
And you go through that door, but then you have to walk all the way fucking back down from where you came from.
Yeah. It's hella stupid. And then it was preview night was pretty packed because everybody got in there kind of at once, and it was just super packed, and I was kind of just at that point I was like, fuck this.
That's the lightest day in terms of people.
Actually, no, it wasn't. Actually, the next day was actually the lightest. It was easier to get around, which is weird.
Thursday.
Thursday was easier to get around.
Wednesday was pretty packed. Okay. So we get in, and we try to go up the way that I went, and they're like, no, you gotta go all the way down. So we had to double back and walk all the way down just to go back to where I was literally 15 minutes before. Actually, no, it was longer now because we had to wait in line. So it took me 15 minutes to get my badge and lanyard and stuff. It took Cronus probably 45 minutes or longer.
Yeah, it was close to an hour. Over an hour. It was really fucking dumb.
God damn.
So I was not happy about that. And then we went out and we
had the floor.
Yeah, went to the floor, had fun. Oh, that's the thing you're talking about.
Oh. Got it. Oh, you have it. Oh, keep going, y'all. Be a professional podcast.
Yeah, there's a bug in the studio.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
All right. You gonna let it out?
Squish it.
Like a nice guy.
End it.
It's a
Just saying.
eater. Good.
Oh,
All right, so you saw the floor.
Yeah, we saw the floor.
So the floor, I mean, it's gigantic. I mean, I did a video, if you look on our YouTube page, I did a video basically walking the floor on the least busiest side, which is like the back side.
Yeah.
And it was still fucking packed. Like, it was hard for me to like get through people and stuff like that, and it's like real long, and that isn't even the entire con.
Yep.
It's just the main floor. You know, they had stuff going on outside in other hotels.
Petco.
Yeah, Petco Park was open to shit. Like, it was insane. And that parking lots were, you know, taken up by stuff. There was actually, when I realized that you can go to Comic-Con and not actually have a ticket.
Yep. Exactly.
Like, you can just go to the area, because, like, the gas not been shut down.
Yeah.
You know, and a good portion of downtown. You won't be able to walk the floor, but you can do almost everything else.
Yeah.
Without a pass.
Mm-hmm. Agreed?
Yeah, there's plenty of activities if you don't have if you're like die hard and going, and if you live in SoCal, it's worth the drive, I think. Even if you're die hard and you're skeptical and you're from the Bay Area or further, taking the drive, you can literally still have a great time at Comic-Con just at the outside activities, which are free.
Yeah, and then go do the after parties.
Yep.
Oh,
Which are
yeah.
also free.
Yeah.
I think you don't need a badge to. This is kind of later on in the thing, but there was events for major networks like Amazon Video Experience. Like that, I think that you didn't need a ticket for that. All you had to do was RSVP for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then if you got picked, you got picked. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. And there's also after parties at clubs and shit like that that are definitely worth going to. We went to a couple of them. Well, no, did we go to after parties?
We went to one. That's where you wanted to. You got to tell your story.
Yeah. So we went to this. We're trying to find after parties, and I was trying to get into one for Stranger Things, and one for.
Yeah, that was a huge event.
Yeah, and then one for. Ready Player One. And so I was in contact because all I wanted to know.
The movie?
Yeah.
It was sponsored. It had the theme.
It was called Ready Party One.
Cool. Yeah.
And so I was trying to know because it said that you know if you go to that, there's a possibility you can get your picture taken. And you got to be okay with that when you get your ticket. So I was like, oh, you can take pictures there. So I was like, I emailed the person that was running the event. I'm like, hey, I'm part of the press. Can I come through and maybe take some pictures? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, have you bought your ticket yet? And I was like, no, but I was planning on getting a VIP ticket. And then she never got back to me. I emailed her again. I was like, okay, so I guess I'm not going. Like, I would have fucking bought the ticket. You know what I mean? She would have said, oh, just buy a ticket and then blah, blah, blah. But she never got back to me. So I was just like, you know, whatever.
Industry folks are shady.
Some of them. I mean, some of them you gotta hit up more than once, which is fine, but
They're probably fucking super smart.
because some of the other ones I had to hit up more than once, and they responded, and they were very cordial about it. You know, what I mean, I understand they're busy because it's Comic-Con and all that shit, but you know, just get back to people, or just tell me no.
Yeah.
Just buy a ticket. That'd have been fine. What else?
The party we went to?
Yeah, so we went to it was called the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. And so they took donations. Apparently, it's for like basically free speech.
Oh, okay.
So if you have, if you're making a comic and you have some questionable things in there, they will, and you get sued, the Comic Book Defense League can defend you.
That's awesome,
Help you
actually.
win on free speech. So that's
Not
really
all
cool
heroes
thing.
wear capes.
Yeah.
I had no idea this was still an issue with comic books in this age. I understand back in the day when you had the approval thing.
Yep.
That was a big deal. But nowadays I was like, this is really still a thing. But yes, it is. And they took it was basically technically it was a free party. Cool. But they took donations. They recommended $20, so I gave $20.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good cause.
Yeah. And they have free food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they had 2 bars. Well, actually, technically they had 3 bars, but 2 open to normal people, I guess. And so we get there, and you could already tell that there was like industry people there, but I didn't know most of them, so I was just chilling. They had artwork and shit up, you know, nice charcuterie boards and shit. So we're just hanging out, having a couple drinks, and then this older guy walks in with a Nightwing jacket on. I look at him, and I'm like,
It's like a Nightwing leather jacket.
yeah, I'm like, is that Marv Wolfman? And El Ninja was like, who? I was like, Marv Wolfman. It's like the guy that made the New Teen Titans. He made Nightwing. He made co-creator Blade. And I was like, it can't be him. He's literally wearing a jacket that basically he created.
That would be on the nose.
Yeah. So then he like walked over somewhere, and I was just like, you know, I'm gonna get another drink, try and find this guy, see if it's really him.
Yeah.
He came with I think it's his wife or a significant other, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking for this guy, and I can't fucking find him. So I come back and sit next down to Old Ninja, and he's literally sitting right next to Old Ninja. Okay. So he's talking. I'm like, that's fucking him. So I walk up to him like, excuse me, you know, when there was like a break in the conversation, because I don't want to be an asshole, you know.
Right.
I'm like, hey, are you Marv Wolfman? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, holy shit. You know, I was
Nice.
like, I'm a huge fan of your work. You know, can I bother you for a picture? And he's like, oh yeah, he's super nice.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Even the person he was with is like, I'll take it for you if you want. I was like, oh, cool, very cool.
Damn, that's nice.
And it seemed like he was open to talking, but I was like, I didn't know, you know, because he's at an after party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to fucking bug the guy.
Yeah.
So
Be respectful and shit all the time.
but he was super cool about it, you know.
I saw the pic. You posted it on Instagram and Facebook, I think, right?
Yeah, I did.
I remember we were at WonderCon when you met the guy from the guy with the deep voice that makes everybody sound like fucking pussies.
Oh, from Kevin Garneau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Underworld.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him randomly too.
Yeah, it was that food fucking truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him with that beard.
It wasn't until he started talking, I was like, I know that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Talks like he ate a fucking whole like plate of glass.
Mountain.
And then just started talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. But yeah, Marv Wolfman is cool. I mean, it was funny at this party. Me and Cronus kept saying, I think that person's famous, but I don't know from where. We were doing that like almost all night.
Yeah. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it was hard to tell because it was like some of them are not in their what we see them on screen. They're going to be different in person. So.
Yeah.
But Marv Wolfman, I mean, he looked like the way he looks like, and he had presented like just before the party. He was at a panel.
Okay.
And he came straight to the party. So, and this party was way the fuck at the we had to walk like a mile and a half to get there. So
It's spread out.
yeah, it was interesting, but it was so far away from everything else. So, but it was cool. I mean, this is night one.
Yeah, night one.
And y'all are tired from, especially you, from driving.
Yeah, I was because I only had maybe 2 hours of sleep. that night.
shit, yeah.
And then I got up at like 3:15 a.m.
So
Picked up on the gym, drove the whole way.
you've been to the convention center before, though, right?
No, I passed by it, but I've never been in it.
Yeah, because last year was, when I went with Prodigy, it was the first time I ever went to San Diego. I've even been in the convention center, and I was just amazed how fucking huge that goddamn building is.
Yeah, it's really big.
It's fucking huge. It's like 2 miles or some shit. It felt like.
And Hall H, it seats over 6,000 people.
Yeah, and it looks like more, but Ballroom 20 sits thousands of
Yeah,
people
that one too. I went there as well. We'll get to those.
there.
So yeah, I guess that day ended. You know, I got some sleep, got up in the morning. Day 2. Well, technically, day 1 for the con, right?
Oh yeah, Thursday's day 1. Yeah.
So what did we do on that day?
We went to the floor again, but we went to Hall H first time, press entrance.
Yes, there was a press entrance.
He told you there was a press entrance.
Yeah,
You found that last year.
Yeah, I went. I mean, I went off of Blues. Like, if I'm all Blue said, there's a press entrance. I'm gonna fucking find this thing. I'm not sitting in grass overnight to get into fucking Hall H again. So we found the press entrance.
It's kind of weird how they like dealt with the press entrances, which is we'll get to in a minute. But like it wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
Which is quite strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you would think Hall H would be the hardest one to get into, right? But it wasn't, which is kind of fucking, which is really weird.
Yeah, because like when we went last year, we got into Hall H, but then I went to go see the Steven Universe panel, and they're like, "No, press what? Get the fuck, the line's way the fuck over there."
Same one. It was for probably
It was the Indi. He went to the Indigo Ballroom where we had the same problem.
Yeah.
So the Indigo Ballroom is at the
Hilton or something?
Hilton or the Hyatt. One of those.
Yeah.
So they have another big ass ballroom. The thing was, they make people wait because the Hilton is like on the docks. So the line goes outside into the docks and then down by the water, where it's like you're sitting in the sun for like a good couple hours if you're trying to get there early. And we're asking for a press entrance where clearly they could have, because there's only one way in, and there's people monitoring that. All they had to do is like, oh, if you're pressed, yeah, come on in. But instead, they're like, no press entrance. You guys got to wait in line. So this is actually day 3 when we did this. We tried to do the Rick and Morty panel.
Who was in Hall H on the day 1 though? Thursday.
So Thursday day 1, we went to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's big shit.
Ooh.
It actually made me want to watch the show.
Dude, this last season's been really good. The last 3 seasons since they introduced
Ghost Rider.
That's when the season started to pick up. The Ghost Rider's not on there anymore, but that season was like pinnacle.
Yeah, That's the one that we picked up.
Was this the last season?
No, next season.
Yeah, next season's gonna be the final season.
Final season. But check it out. They dropped the bomb at Hall H. Ghost Rider's coming back.
Yes. Dude, Ghost Rider was like
He
the
was
best
so
thing in
good.
that fucking series.
Ghost Rider had a good series because there was there's like each season now has 2 arcs. There's the first half before the winter break where they finish it, and they have threads that lead to the next arc, which finishes out the season. And Ghost Rider had an arc that was really good, and he actually comes back in the second arc a little bit.
This is like the Jaime Driver
Yes.
one.
Yeah, it was the one with the what's it drive, like a Camaro or some shit? Or,
Something.
Like a Charger almost.
Yeah, it is a Charger. It does a Charger.
Like the scene this is like my favorite scene in that series. He's driving his truck and the guy has like a missile launcher and he shoots it at him and the car fucking blows up. But when it flips in the air, the fucking wheels start to catch on fire and he comes back down. He's like in fucking in Daredevil mode or Ghost Rider mode. It's fucking dope.
Actually, every time he fucks somebody up, like when he touches them and sends them to wherever, those scenes are really good because like they think that they can take him. They're like, oh, you're not going to do nothing to me. He doesn't even say anything. He just touches them and they just either burst into flames or like crumble. Nice. It's fucking great.
It's way better than the movies.
So who was on the who was actually hosting for Hall H before Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Was it Paulson?
It was Jeff Loeb.
Okay.
Jeff Loeb is he's actually producer on almost everything TV Marvel.
Yeah.
And a couple of movies. He's also comic book writer, consultant and all that. He's an older guy, but he's been in the business for a while. He hosted the panel and the entire cast was there. I think there's maybe one. No, everybody was there. So they were talking about the end of the season and how they were doing. They had just because Jed Whedon was there. He's one of the executive. Yeah, it's like his younger. It's his younger brother. He's there. Okay. Him and his wife were both executive producers, and they said they had just finished filming the final episode before they got there. I think the day before.
Oh, for next
season.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're talking about how they. They can't wait for us to see us, but it's really emotional. A lot of them are crying because they're like, it's the end. You guys have been great, kind of thing. They're thanking us. They were showing us like a scissor reel for like all this stuff. And
wait, you mean 2 girls?
So is Ming not Wen a fucking vampire?
I don't know. She's beautiful.
Why is she so
woman.
hot in her 50s?
She's like over 50.
She's so hot. Yeah, I'm like, dude.
She's so bad. Even Chloe Bennett. It's funny because Chloe Bennett, most people think she's hot, but compared to Ming-Na, she's cute.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's something, but you're right.
I still can't believe she's Asian. Not me, not Wing, but
they're both Asian.
Oh, you can see
Chloe. Yeah, Chloe Bennett's like half Asian, but still. There's still 2 Asian women leads, so there you go.
And it's been on this is going to be their 8th or 7th?
So season 7 has 3 more episodes, and season 8 will be next year.
Okay, 8 seasons.
So it's pretty long. Some is short. Some Firefly didn't last that long.
That's extremely long.
Yeah. So
that's huge.
But I think the final season is only 13 episodes. They were saying.
They should have had Hickman write something for the Secret Warriors.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
So who else was in Hall H?
We didn't stay. So we had the chance to see his Dark Secrets, the reboot to the Golden Compass.
His Dark Material.
Yeah, there we go. That's what. Yeah, I think it was something like that. But yeah, we left for that because we had waited in the press line, even though this is the first and only day we waited in the shade.
Yeah. So the press line on that one, it was like in the shade right next to the building. It was easy to get into, and like they checked your bags, they led you in, and then they just let you in and you just go wherever. Cool. Like, they didn't tell you to go on like the press pit or anything. It just just go wherever. I'm just so there's seat, I guess.
There's seats that were reserved, but we couldn't sit in them. They're for like another echelon of press.
Yes.
So,
but can I ask? So is this? I saw the trailer. It looked fucking dope with the polar bear and armor and all that. Is this Golden Compass? Is it a prequel, sequel, and is it a movie or series?
It's a series, and it's like HBO exclusive type thing.
Okay, but is it after Golden Compass?
No, it's the book. They based it off the book. They're just redoing the book.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can totally tell. Like, there's instead of Nicole Kidman, they have a different girl with just brown hair this time. James McAvoy's in it. He's playing Daniel Craig's part in it or whatever. So it's the same thing. It's based off the book, same thing, just longer.
Looks cool.
Is Golden Compass the one where with the Robert De Niro plays the gay pirate?
No. It's the one with Daniel Craig.
Yeah. Yeah, and Nicole Kidman. And
What
little
damn
ferrets.
Yeah,
They got the little animal. The
and they had the giant polar bear
the daemon
with the armor.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
There you go. Sure. We went to Petco Park, or one of the parking lots at Petco Park that day.
Yeah, parking lot, because we went to the Ripley's Believe It or Not. They had an Axe booth. They had Pepsi for free, and they had a Gundam, the 40th anniversary of Gundam. So they had like all these figurines,
Nice.
crazy big ass mechs and shit. And they had this whole experience that I wasn't waiting in line for. I took a bunch of pictures of it, so it was cool.
Yeah, they have exclusive like figurines for the con, which was there, and also Discovery Channel was there because Shark Week is I think next week.
Something like
so they were promoting that. They had like a megalodon-sized great white, and like it would they had a viewing thing where every like half hour to an hour they would put something in its mouth and it would break it to demonstrate the force and power of a shark's jaws. So
go ahead.
they had like a surfboard and some other shit that it would just chop and break.
Y'all hit up any panels that day besides Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I don't think so. Not
so.
that day.
Okay.
No, that day was kind of
Chilling.
yeah. It was kind of chilling. We went out later that night. Too late. I got kind of fucked up. Yeah, I drank too much that night. We went to a place called the Tipsy Crow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Oh, you been there before?
Yes, on Thursdays they have the stock market bar.
Oh, no.
Well, I saw the menu thing that you posted, with the shot thing. But normal days, because there's I think there's a basement, mid floor, and then there's like upstairs.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Well, they changed it for like Comic Con. Like,
Yeah.
they changed the logo for the whole place. It was like
Super Mario.
Super Mario, yeah. It was
Yeah.
pretty dope. And they had Nintendo flags in front of it.
That place is legit. I love
Yeah,
it.
they had like on the stairs up to the second floor, they had like mushrooms and Goombas up on your way
On the
there.
wall.
The staff were like, one of the girls was dressed as Princess Peach, the other one was dressed as Daisy.
Yeah.
One of the bartender guides was like a buff version of Waluigi.
Nice.
So it was like there's shit like everywhere. They had the games and shit you could do that were Mario based. It was fucking crazy,
Nice.
but it was cool.
So that movie I said where Robert De Niro plays a gay pirate is Stardust, which also
Yeah. I did not like that movie.
Show found it fine as fuck in it though.
So yeah, that day was kind of it was
We went to
not
the
a lot
floor.
going on.
Yeah, we went to the floor. There's panels that I don't think we gave a shit about.
Yeah, and the next day, what the fuck did we do?
Friday, big day.
Friday was much better. Like, actually Thursday was pretty good, but Friday was like one of my better days.
So first thing I hit up was the Hall H again.
What
Got
was
into through the press pass, so I managed to get in to see the Witcher panel.
We split up on this day, right?
Yes, we split up like from here on out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to Hall H. I went to the Witcher panel. It was packed in there. So this is the time where, when we went, we had to wait outside and whatnot. When we went in, we got led to a like press area. So the press call it the press pit.
press pit?
They call it, the organizers, they don't call it that. They call it something else. But where you are, you're either stage right or stage left. Those of you who know theater, that means if you're facing the stage, you're on the right hand side, or you're on the left hand side.
I thought that was starboard.
Yeah. Damn. So yeah, I got to be in the pit. I get to hear about Henry Cavill and his devotion, maybe borderline obsession with The Witcher.
Good shit.
Because he went on to admit that he really wanted this role. Like, he played the games, he read the books, he was calling he was calling the writers and producers before they're even greenlit. When they're in the like pre-greenlit stage, like they knew that they were probably going to get it, but he was bugging them saying, hey, I want this part. Hey, I want this part. What do I got to do to get this part? And they're like, well, we're not.
Did he get on his knees for it? What the fuck?
He based on the way he was talking about it, he would have done it.
Oh, man.
He literally said he bought like 2 swords to practice at home
God
to be
damn.
the Witcher. And they told him he had to wait 4 months before they even got word. And when they did, he told them he wanted to be at the top of the list. That's how dedicated he was to The Witcher, how much he really loved the character and whatnot. So he really understood it based on what he told the crowd. So he was about it. He got the part, obviously, and then we got introduced to the actresses that play Yennefer and Trish, there you go. And then the writer, producer, she was there as well. It was moderated by the actress she's from Community, and
the black lady, right?
Yeah, she's also
awesome.
she's in Endgame as well. So she got a chance to watch the entire series.
Nice.
Right, but she kept telling people that she didn't want to give it away, but she was giving it away.
Goddamn.
She was so excited about it. She kept talking about like Yennefer's transformation. She's like, well, if you don't know anything about it, I don't want to spoil it. But I'm like, I don't know, because I haven't played the games or read the book, but now you're telling me she transforms. Like, what the fuck? She even tells me what she started out as. I'm like, well, shit. So we got to see exclusive content. Like, we got to see an extended scene of Yennefer doing basically a monologue. It's kind of a fucked up scene. I don't want to give it away. You'll see this in like a month. So we also, the girl that plays Trish, I guess she's very, very new.
Yeah.
So she was in college, got the call, got the part, and then she this is like her first acting gig, or maybe second, something new.
Can I ask a real quick question? You're definitely talking about Trish. Did they show the actress that played Siri? Or
I believe so. There was a
okay. Siri should be younger, but I don't know where this takes place in the timeline.
I mean, they're both kind of young. So.
Okay, whatever.
I mean, Yennefer looks like she's probably late 20s.
Gotcha.
She's like, I want to say, so the British people would say that she's an Asian British, but to us, she's Indian.
Oh,
so,
all right.
And then Trish, I believe, is just blonde, blue-eyed female. And then there was Henry Cavill and whatnot. So we got to see actually the trailer and 2 exclusive clips. Oh, no, 3. I'm sorry. We saw a fight scene, like a huge fight scene. There's a scene with Yennefer where she does a monologue, talks about like what's to come and whatnot, and it's kind of fucked up. And then we see like a scene. I don't know what she is. She's like a sorceress or something. She's like, she's kind of young, something like that, but she gets fined by forest people and shit. It was cool.
Was the audience engaged and going nuts, or were they as enthusiastic as they were for like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? What was it like? Because this is new material.
So this, I mean, compared to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this was more packed.
Wow.
Like this, I mean, this is Hall H.
Yeah.
And this is new stuff. A lot of people wanted to see. A lot of people apparently were all about The Witcher. There were people cosplaying as The Witcher and Yennefer outside of Hall H before I got in. One of the press, she was cosplaying as Yennefer before we got in. She was in the group that I was in. We got into the pit. I got some pretty good footage. Because I was on stage. You could literally reach up and shake their hands as they're walking by.
Holy shit.
So that's how close I was to the stage.
Yeah, if you watch some videos, you can actually see me in the press pit for the Marvel panel.
Yeah, and you can see me in the pictures I took from the press pit when the Witcher cast came by. So it was pretty good. Like, he came by, he said thank you to everybody. They all were waving and stuff.
Are you on board now?
Oh, yeah.
You've seen these trailers. I know you haven't played the games, you haven't read the books, but this is like launch week, you down for this?
So there's a problem with this, but it's a good problem.
Okay.
And I'm gonna explain in a minute. So but yes, I'm definitely on board. When I saw Yennefer's scene was kind of fucked up, but it got me interested because I was like, this is a dark scene, but she's spilling out some emotional guts, and then I got to see a fight scene. It's similar to another movie before, but it's like The Witcher, and he's taking on stuff. They don't really show him using his powers, but they show him kicking ass. And then like there's weird forestry people that look really good. It looks like movie quality type shit, but this is this TV series on Netflix. So
do you think this is Netflix version of Game of Thrones? Like, if Game of Thrones and this show was on at the same time, do you think this will kill Game of Thrones?
No, I don't think so. Not yet. This is different because this is.
That's a tough.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I mean, Game of Thrones had a budget of a movie basically every fucking episode.
Yeah.
So it's like real difficult to like.
I mean, but this, from what I saw, this looked the same way. It looked like it had the budget of a feature-length film.
Yeah.
Watching this, but it's just I think a lot of people are more familiar with Game of Thrones than they are The Witcher because this involves.
Wait, off the bat? I would push back on that a little bit. I think people are more familiar with Witcher than Game of Thrones at its start.
I'd have to disagree, because this is deeply rooted in the history of a sovereign land, which a lot of people don't really know, especially the U.S. audience. This is Poland's mythology and history. Most people, when you talk to them about mythology, you're thinking Greek or Egyptian, not Polish.
But isn't the game?
I will split the difference. I would venture to say that they are both relatively obscure books.
Up until
they got made, even after they announced the video game, it was still not the highest selling video game of all, even anywhere near it.
Yeah, there's 3 sequels to the game. They're not like the third one is the best one.
Yeah,
the third one sold like gangbusters.
Yeah, the third one did, but the first 2 games had the first 2 games built that audience for that.
Yeah, and most people don't even know that it's based upon books.
Yeah,
I get you.
So I think when this drops, there'll be a resurgence in the games for sure. The games will start selling again. People will pick them up. I mean, because the way I think they're presenting this, it will be epic. Like I was sold watching this. I'm like, I'm glad I actually didn't play the games or read the books. I want to come in this new and fresh. And from what I saw, this has got me interested. I'm just like, I want to know what's going on, especially with the way that Henry Cavill break down. They asked him about the history of the Witchers and how Geralt specifically became a Witcher.
Is it interesting at all to you, though, that he did all this research, he was so passionate about it, and I love that passion from an actor. I didn't hear this when he got the role of Supes. Did you?
For Supes?
Like for Man of Steel, I didn't hear this level.
I didn't hear. I heard very little about Man of Steel.
Did you say the story about when he got announced when they called him for Man of Steel? So when they called him for Man of Steel, you know what he was doing?
What?
Oh yeah, he's playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's fucking Thundersteel. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my bad.
You said you don't remember.
I forgot. Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's just almost
I stole the punchline. My
I
bad.
thought you were gonna say he was like masturbating or some shit. Like, or he was fucking some chick.
So he didn't give a shit about DC, basically, is what I'm really hearing, by comparison.
Maybe I don't know. I can't.
Well, it sucks because I know Brandon Routh was really hoping to come back and play Superman, and like when he got the call that they were going to go with somebody else, he was kind of crushed about that. But we're going to talk about it later. But he might be doing his role again as Superman in the Arrowverse.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
It is true.
All right, so I guess we'll talk about what I was doing at the same time the Old Ninja was doing the Witcher panel. So we obviously did split ops here.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets weird about the whole press pass thing. There's apparently levels of press passes that I did not know about.
Yeah, you learned about
especially at a Comic-Con. So I went to, Hall 20, and I went to the SC line, which is where you're supposed to go in for the press. Mm-hmm. And they were like, no, unless you got one of these things,
special.
It was like a special card or something that I needed, then you can't go through this line. You can't go through this entrance to get in. So I was like, all right, I'll just go through the normal line, and I got there early because I was trying to get to the boys panel. And so I got there probably 2.5 hours early.
Mm-hmm. This is that Amazon show, right?
It's an Amazon show, which we'll talk about in depth in a minute. Mm-hmm. So, I waited in line, got into it. Got into the hall, and it was like the end of the Steven Universe panel.
Ooh.
And so I got a pen I got to give to my daughter. I got to find it, a pen, because she's a huge Steven Universe fan.
Me too, man.
The movie's coming out. I caught the end. It seemed, Steven Universe. And the next panel started, so I moved up a little bit further into the, seats. And there was one called the Brave Warriors. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't even know what the fuck this is about.
It's on Crunchyroll, right?
It's not nothing.
Bravest Warrior?
Yeah, you're thinking Bravest Warrior, not Brave Warriors.
Oh, okay, I am thinking Bravest Warrior.
Yeah, because I was thinking Bravest Warriors too, and I was like,
that's on Verve.
Yeah, because I was like, this doesn't look interesting to me, and I don't want to sit through this, but I will for the boys, right?
Yeah.
Do it for the boys.
Yeah, it ended up being, it was an Entertainment Weekly panel that they do every year at Comic-Con, where they pick a bunch of heroes to do a panel and they ask them random questions. It ended up being really fucking interesting. Okay. Because they had John Bradley from Game of Thrones. He played Samuel Tarly. They had Cameron Koof. I think it's Koof or Koofy or whatever. He's a guy from London, and he's in Krypton. He played Seg-El. It's nice. Superman's grandfather. Aidan Gillian from Game of Thrones. He played Littlefinger. Yeah. They had Cress Williams from Black Lightning. He is Black Lightning. They also had William Zabka, who was in The Karate Kid and the new in Cobra Kai. He's the bad guy, Johnny Lawrence. And they also had Michael. They also had Michael Emerson, which really didn't fit because he's not really a hero in anything. He's usually a villain. So, which is fine.
Yeah.
still a lot of fun. They asked him like some really, really funny questions, and like one of the funniest ones was they were asking, is there ever been like a sex scene that you did? What's the most embarrassing sex scene that you did? And so the guy that played Seg-El from Krypton, Cameron Koof, his shit was fucking hilarious. He was cutting weight to look like ripped, right? So he can get a six-pack. So he was eating basically no carbs for like, I think it was like a month or so. And then he's all, well, I read on, bodybuilding.com that if you do that and then the day before you want to look really, big, you eat a bunch of carbs the day before. And then your muscles will fill full of glucose and your muscles will be bigger. And so that's totally true. And when he said that, I was like, in the back of my mind, I already know where this fucking story is going. Because there's a consequence, you pay for this. So he did that, and then he said that he ate all these carbs, he looked good, but then he basically shit his pants. Like during this scene. And it was so fucking funny. And there was another story that he was telling where they were asking like, what was your favorite toy growing up? And he's like, oh, I was a kid in the 90s and my favorite show was Toy Story. And he's like, I got a Woody. And then Cress Williams jumped on him immediately and was talking like, you got a Woody, dog? It was just like, it was so fucking funny.
Oh, man.
So they all had like really good chemistry. They all told really, really cool stories.
Nice.
It was great. Next up was The Boys, which is what I came there for, the hall for. And it was great, but at this point, the day before was the night where we stayed out drinking like way too late. And this was like, the panel started I think like 4, and I had nothing to eat.
Yep.
All right, I was like, I was getting shaky at that point because I was like, I need something. Luckily I had a bottle of water in my bag or else I might have fucking passed out.
Shit.
So I drank some water and I was starting to get hungry, but the Boys came on. It was like literally every major character in the show came on that fucking panel. I was like, holy shit. Everybody. I didn't even know that Elizabeth Shue was in this fucking shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she's in it. And so they talked about the show, which I was already interested in. If y'all have not seen the trailers, definitely check it out. This show is going to be the shit. I think it's going to be a fan favorite. I think if you're a fan of comic books especially, you're going to see a different side of superheroes.
Is this based on a comic?
Yes, based on a comic. I forget the guy who wrote it, but it's based on a comic. And they changed some things, like Stillwell, who's in the comics, was a man, but now it's played by Elizabeth Shue. So they're female. But she's badass in the show.
Do you know, so obviously this is not an Image, DC, or Marvel.
I don't think so.
No.
Indie.
It is indie. Is it Vertigo or something? Something like that.
I don't know, but
I don't remember.
The panel went really well. It basically answers the question of if you're watching like any kind of superhero show or reading the comics, when there's collateral damage, like what happens? Like if somebody blows off the side of a building, what happens? If somebody kills somebody in an accident, what happens? How do superheroes get paid? If they destroy their costume, how are they getting paid to fix that shit? Not everybody's fucking Batman.
Yeah.
Where are they getting money from? And they tied in a really cool thing of like in today's days when we have social media, like how do superheroes deal with social media and basically being gods? And so in this show, the heroes are kind of pieces of shit, like real pieces of shit. Like they're so humanized. It's kind of like they have superpowers, but they still deal with like normal human problems in really bad ways.
Shit.
And so basically, this isn't giving like the plot away of the show, but there's a company called Voight that basically owns superheroes. And so when they basically hire superheroes, they give them a salary, and they have a whole PR team to like help them out. If they fuck up shit, they pay for the collateral damage.
Yeah.
Somebody dies, they pay for the funerals and all that shit. If they need help with their costumes, they fix up their costumes, they design their costumes. They are basically company people that are superheroes.
Does Edna work for him?
Actually, in the third episode, there basically is an Edna mode.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny. There's a throwback to like the no cape thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
but,
cape.
It's really good. We'll talk about it more because later on we got to do more with the show.
Yeah. So really quickly, this is from The Boys is from Wildstorm and Dynamite Entertainment. And
Who wrote it?
It was created by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson.
That's what it is. Good shit.
So I believe they're there, were they not? Yeah.
Does any of the female cast make some kind of like reference of like why is the show called The Boys?
It's funny. It's funny because one of them is the female.
Yeah. Yeah. That's literally the name of her character.
Yeah, I have not met her in the show yet. I'm on episode 3.
Yeah.
Which will explain how I'm watching it before all you in a minute.
So really quickly, I'm gonna back up because we're trying to think what happened Thursday night. We gotta talk about what we saw. So
we met some famous people too.
So Cronus and I, we were having lunch, and there was this band by SyFy.
Yeah.
They're marching up and down the gas lamp, right?
SyFy went hard as fuck.
Oh yeah, they were super hard, extra hard. So they had this band. It was like normally like football teams. Some of them have like bands and stuff that come on the field for halftime or whatnot. Just like a drum line. Some of them have the cheerleaders with it. It was like that. And so, but they had this band up and down, marching down. They come by once. We're eating. We go to pay the check. The band comes back, but we hear this guy on a megaphone.
I will show the band, and hopefully it won't play over this. I'll mute this. But this is like, literally, here we go. I was walking down, or we just like right after we got out of the lunch. So this is what we see. Yeah. If you see the guy in purple, this is where we...
So this guy on the megaphone is yelling and screaming. He's singing with them and stuff.
I'm just trying to film at this point.
Yeah, so we're both trying to film, take pictures and whatnot, and then they stop right in front of our restaurant, and they form like a semicircle.
Can I play the music? Hold on, let me see if it'll come up on there. So they're playing like... Oh, the sound is all fucked up. Yeah, it sounds awful. Sorry. I didn't have my normal microphone on the top, so it was like my camera mic.
Yeah, it sounds like a New Orleans.
Yeah, it was.
Show or whatever.
But they were playing like nerdy music. They were playing like the theme song to fucking Super Mario Brothers and shit like that.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, they were playing that. They were playing like Star Wars. They were playing like just all kinds of crazy stuff. So they stop, and we're taking pictures. And we see this guy, and when he's facing me and Cronus, I'm like, "Hey, Cronus, you know what that is, right?" He's like, "No, who is that?" I'm all, "That is Orlando Jones."
Oh shit!
Orlando Jones is leading this SyFy group, and he's like going off. And so they have like a makeshift stage where he would pull random people out and do trivia. So they basically did like this weird like hybrid of Family Feud and trivia in the middle of the street.
Oh, look at me, right in your direction.
Is he on a SyFy show that we?
He's on American.
He's on Make It Gods.
Oh, okay.
That's not
SyFy though.
Yeah.
No, it's not a SyFy show, but I mean, he's been a bunch of stuff. He also has a superhero show on YouTube that he's like writer, producer, director, and starring.
Good shit.
So we stayed there for like a good amount, and this was Thursday afternoon. We saw Orlando Jones right in front of us
with a pink hat.
Yeah, pink hat, purple suit,
doing it
big, singing with this SyFy band. It was something to see. And then like
he's doing a new show called High School 51. That's on the SyFy channel.
There you go. I was about to say there's got to be some synergy there going on.
I'm not sure if it's on the SyFy. It just says it's a SyFy like genre.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure if it's on the show.
Probably.
So, but it was interesting because like Orlando Jones went super hard because not only did he do this band, later on SyFy had tour buses where they were doing karaoke on the top, and it was led by Orlando Jones. You could hear him
they put him to
down
work.
the street. Yeah, they put him down the street he was yelling at people, sing that song, sing it. You know, he was singing. He interrupt and jump in and sing with them. Like we'd hear him as we were going from spot to spot. It was great. He was crazy.
People too.
Yeah, he was clowning people. He asked them like he asked them a question from the Fifth Element. They didn't even know. It was like, what? He would clown the shit out of you.
One of my favorite things was they had these two guys, and it was basically Jedi, Bernie Sanders, and it was Darth Trump. Darth Trump.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was so fucking funny. And they were both doing this trivia questions, and yeah, it was pretty funny.
It was craziness. So while Cronus was at the boys panel, because he sat through more panels than I did. I sat through 2. He went through like 2.5. I was there for the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance panel. Also at Hall H. More Netflix. plays back to the problem I was talking about The Witcher. So the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, and The Witcher, I think, come out the same day.
God damn.
So that's kind of, I mean, I guess good for Netflix and good for us. There's plenty of material to watch, but it's kind of weird doubling down. I didn't know, I knew that the cast is huge, but I didn't know these two particular actors in the show because they brought them out, and it was Taron Egerton from the Kingsman series and Mark Hamill.
Eggsy.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, so both of them came out and they were there for the panel. So people got to ask them questions and whatnot, and they got to talk about their creation of the show.
You know what my biggest question is, and I haven't seen the trailer. Obviously, if I did, I'd probably have the answer to this. Are they using puppets again?
Oh, yeah. The director said the only way he would do it is if they did puppetry.
There we go.
And what we got to see, which you can watch now, is the behind the scenes about the puppeteers creating the look and the feel of it. I mean, yes, there is CGI in the film, but it is mostly reliant on puppeteers and their performance, and then the actors that voice their puppets or whatnot. They're separate, but they show from creation of like the animatronics to them building the skin to them stitching eyelashes, eyebrows, putting eyes in, like the whole works.
Hold on, Netflix is going hard as fuck in August. There's a lot of really good shows that are coming out in August. They're getting the fucking whole Rocky franchise.
Oh.
They're getting Groundhog's Day. They're getting, there's a bunch of originals. Hold on, give me a second. I'm trying to go through. There's one called Inter Anime. I want to check that one out to see what it's all about. Glow Season 3 is coming out in August.
Oh, shit.
Which is a great, if you haven't watched it, Glow, fucking watch that show. Cannon Busters is coming out.
Oh, yes, that's right. We didn't get a chance to talk to LaShawn Johnson, but I can't wait for that shit.
Yeah, Invader Zim Enter the Fortress is coming out on August 16th.
They just dropped a trailer for that this week, or at least a sneak
Wait,
preview.
I'm sorry. Is that new Invader Zim?
Yes,
Yes,
new,
it's new
brand
Invader
new.
Zim.
Netflix got Invader Zim from Nickelodeon?
They did.
Yeah.
Whoa!
There was an Invaders in panel at Comic-Con.
Yeah, and I missed it. Yeah, so Dark Crystal comes out on August 30th.
Same day as The Witcher.
No,
Should
Are you
be.
sure? I haven't
Should
seen the
be.
I don't see it on here.
It might be a little bit later in the fall, man.
They're both in August.
Okay, well, he's on there.
I don't want to see The Witcher. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know. Because like you can technically watch most of The Witcher if you got invited to watch it. I guess the last couple episodes are not finished.
While he's looking that up, is Hamill playing Goblin King David Bowie's old role? Or am I tripping?
I think you have the movies confused. This is
my
the
bad.
Labyrinth.
You're thinking of the Labyrinth.
You're right,
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, no, he plays a
Got a story
sketch.
about
He
a
plays
girl.
a sketch bees, one of these crazy buzzard-looking things. Someone asked him to recreate his character, and he did, but against much avail, I guess. But
You got a date on The Witcher for Netflix?
It says late 2019. But hold
Yeah,
on,
no hard
let me
date.
check. Hold on.
when I saw the trailer, the release date was at the end of the trailer.
Oh, well, maybe it's going to be a surprise to everybody else who wasn't there.
Because they were saying, no, they told everyone it's going to be in August.
Huh? Why didn't it update? It still does not say. Oh, hold on. Here we go. This is on Games Radar, so hopefully they have.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure they were there.
Goddamn.
Why
So,
don't they just put where the fuck it is?
But Dark Crystal looked good.
No,
Dark
just,
Crystal-
hold on. It says The Witcher Netflix release date is in Q4 2019.
Okay, we'll go with that for now. Dark Crystal, you're on board? What's
yeah, I'm on board because I'm a huge fan. I didn't know. I mean, it has a ridiculous cast. They were showing the puppetry. We got to see a little bit of like scenes, like very small scene of what's going on. There was huge like audience like screaming for this. They can't wait. It's been a very long time. Jim Henson Studios is fully behind this. His daughter is involved and whatnot.
AKA Disney.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I forgot they bought them.
Yeah, they've been bought them, but I mean, it looks and has that feel from like the 80s, but they're more movable because you can see them running about. So it's also a series, not a movie.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's cool.
I'm on board for this. It looks great. I was super like impressed by just the way it looked, the way that they brought back like just the feel of the original and the colors and whatnot. They had talked about how color was important to them. The animatronics were color and try to be faithful to Jim Henson and to the fans. So
Are there gonna be any Muppets on Muppets fucking?
Oh yeah.
you know what? It is
on Pornhub.
I mean, Netflix is kind of Wild West, so you may never
know.
Yeah, you never know.
All right, let's see. I think we segue to later that night, right? Because we had, I think, dinner, maybe.
Maybe.
And
You talking about the other Hall H thing you guys went to?
No, that's the next day.
Okay.
So later on that night, we went to the boys' red carpet. Ooh. So this is where it gets interesting. All right. So this is the first time anybody in this podcast has ever covered a red carpet.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a few back and forth things, with us and Amazon and people that ran the event, which is kind of cool because it's the first time we've ever done something like this, so I didn't know how it worked. But it was cool. Even though it was almost kind of a shit show. I think going forward, I learned a lot from this event, like how to communicate with PR people and how to get them to respond back to me and like what's expected and kind of what to do on a red carpet because. To be honest, like when you're meeting like a shitload of celebrities, it's weird, but then like you have to normalize it like right away because if you're just sitting there like, oh my god, it's Carl Urban, like you're gonna miss a lot of shit. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I had to treat this shit like it was my main job when I got there, and it was weird because when we finally got to the red carpet, I'm like, I have my camera, but I'm basically the only guy there with like. I mean, I have a Canon camera, but I'm shooting with a prime lens, and everybody else there, they had like some crazy fucking zoom lens with like they had really nice shit. You know what I mean? I'm there with just like.
It was like when I interviewed the Gifted, it was like I had like my Nikon camera. Everybody else had like fucking professional shit. I'm like, fuck. But the guy next to me had like he had like a Canon, like a handheld one. I'm like, okay, I don't feel that bad.
Yeah, some folks had like kind of for the videos they had like cheaper cameras. Yeah. But as far as like actual photos, because there was like one side had photos and the other side had video, and for like the photo side, everybody had like their 1DX or a 6D or something like that, or the Nikon equivalent, or the Sony equivalent. So I actually got to talk to one of the guys who he both worked for Screen Rant and the actual event. Yeah. So I was like picking his brain about shit, and so eventually everybody comes out.
The fuck is that?
I don't know. Why are you fucking this up?
I thought my phone was muted. I don't know what the fuck.
So me and Oninja go to the red carpet, but Oninja's only got his phone, so I was like, this might be weird, but nobody really gave a fuck. He's taking pictures and videos with his phone, and I got my DSLR out, taking pictures and shit, and we're taking pictures a lot, and then all of a sudden, like I noticed that if you literally just be like, hey, over here, can I get a picture here? Like they'll look at your camera, and they'll I was like, you could do that? Like I didn't know that you could do that. Like I felt all fucking dumb, but obviously I know now, but it was cool to like if you just interact with them, they'll like do what you want. Yeah. And this is sort of some behind the scenes shit. Like I'm pretty sure most of them were fucking lit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
so they put them on party. Oh, go ahead.
To preface where we were with the red carpet was they had a blue room, which is I guess like a green room, and there was a bar and a DJ in there. Oh yeah. So the stars were coming out with margaritas. Like Carl Urban came out with 2 double-fisted margaritas. So he was like coming out like whipping around and stuff, drinking and stuff. The ladies coming out with like wine and shit, and their like cups and shit. So they're getting a little lit. But it was fun though. Yeah, they were cool. So
they were like so basically normal. It was kind of weird. They're really cool with everybody. Even like after we were done taking pictures, Carl Urban was walking, off the red carpet to grab another drink or go back into the blue room. I was like, hey, can you take a picture with Corey? Old ninja. Who? Yeah. Who's that? So, yeah, he was like, oh yeah, sure. Got up next to him, took a couple pictures. Cool as fuck.
Easy. As long as you're a decent human and you're not like a jerk about it and no gotcha questions, they're totally fine. They're totally cool with it, Yeah. And it was cool because there was like a pit with fans in it, and the fans are like, "Hey, can you do this? Can we just get this?" The stars would like run over, shake hands, quickly sign autographs, and then rush out. They were not trying to get trapped.
And there's people there that I was not expecting. Like Giancarlo Esposito was there. I was like, what the fuck? And then, what's her name?
Oh, Sonequa Martin Green.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, boy.
Dude, what the fuck?
Oh my God,
And the-
she came on fire.
And the whole cast, like Man on High Castle, was there, which is to be expected because they're Amazon as well, which is really cool. So we did that, event, and then we got to go to the actual party. But obviously, we went there kind of late. So the actual party started like 7, right? But we couldn't, we're on the red carpet from like 7 to like 8:30,
And maybe 8:45 because we literally had maybe, what'd you say, half hour, 50 minutes?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe before the show.
Yeah, and the show started at 9. Because they were showing the first 2 episodes of The Boys. And so, but the whole event was dope because, they had stuff from the show.
Yeah.
And they had free alcohol.
Like props, you mean, from the show?
Yeah, they literally took a building from the show and they put it on the fucking, there in the event.
Yeah.
Fancy.
They had haystacks. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about, but whatever.
And free alcohol, free food.
Yeah, open bar. Oh my God.
And there was celebrities everywhere. You could talk to them and shit like that. They were cool as fuck.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I got a chance to talk to Giancarlo because he's in the upcoming Mandalorian. So I quickly asked him, made a comment about it, and he was cool about it. We vibed off each other for a quick minute. I got to talk to Sonequa Martin Green, how much I love Star Trek Discovery, which I do. Wasn't pandering, but I watched the show. I'm trying to get my mom to watch the show. Told her that. She gave me a high five for it. She said, "Thank you for support. Keep watching. Wait till next season type stuff."
Did she keep the hand sanitizer on deck?
Probably. She probably does. I mean, she's a celebrity, but she was there. She was there with her. She was there with her significant other. I wouldn't touch your hand. We know what you know.
Her significant other is in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
What? Who is it?
Yeah. It's something.
Look him up.
Name.
Is he Dre?
Something like
No.
Because everybody forgot about Dre. What the fuck happened? I don't know if he ever came back.
No.
He went off to do Jack Bauer shit.
He was cool as fuck too. It's just weird because there's the stars of the show plus stars of a couple of other shows are in the crowd with you watching this new show.
You let them know we.
Of course, I mean,
Slide some cards.
we press, bruh. Damn. But yeah,
His name is Kendrick Green, and I'm trying to see what he was.
Is he the
The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead, one of the two.
I think he dies in Walking Dead. I'm not sure.
This season, The Walking Dead. Yeah. He was.
Is he the gangster guy in the beginning?
He was Scott on.
No.
Scott
But
is.
Him right here.
that's him right there.
I don't know who the fuck that
I don't
is.
remember him.
Nah.
Oh, too. Okay, yeah, he was in.
Kinda.
There's
Yeah.
some episodes.
Nah, I only remember 2 black folks, 4 black folks. There was Michonne, TJ Filler, whatever the guy. T-Dog.
Which the show forgot. They
Yeah.
brought him back and then killed him.
And then the brother and sister, the girl who becomes the girl from Star Trek Discovery, and then her brother.
Yep.
The only 4 black people I remember. Oh no, and the guy with the staff.
Yeah.
Oh, Morgan.
Yeah.
Ninja
Oh,
Morgan.
and then there's King Ezekiel. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's kind of a few black people in the show.
Yeah, there's a few folk up in there. Yeah, we got to, free food and stuff. We were loading up because, Cronus got him free margaritas. I got me some snacks and drinks or whatnot. And we were literally, a row or two from the screen.
2 rows, yeah.
And this is the size of it,
a huge
small theater screen.
You can't have open bar free food around black folk. You just can't do it.
They did, but they did though. They didn't give a fuck. Amazon did not give a fuck.
I wish I was there, boy. I'd be like wilding out.
Amazon knew what's up. They threw a great fucking
I'd have
party.
been laughing. I would have left with a celebrity.
It was probably, it was
Where's Blue? I saw some chick.
It was a cool vibe. So they brought the whole cast up, and it was one of the cast members' birthday.
Nice.
So they brought out a cake for him. We all sang happy birthday to him.
It was the Deep's birthday.
Yeah, he was cool about it. They brought up even people that weren't even showing up. The creator of the show. He worked on Supernatural.
Okay.
He created the show, so he was up there.
Eric Kripke.
Yeah, he was hella cool. You could tell he was lit. He had a drink in his hand while he was presenting.
Spilling all the tea.
Yeah, he was great.
I was surprised Seth Rogen was on the panel because he's a co-producer of the show.
Oh, wow.
But he wasn't at the event, which is kind of weird. But
Yeah.
We're getting high somewhere.
He's the one with the funny laugh, right?
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't even do it.
That's pretty good though.
So then we got to watch the first 2 episodes of the Amazon Prime's upcoming TV show, The Boys. and it was some dank fucking shit.
I'm telling you.
Is it R-rated?
It's, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fucking MA.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Super.
If it's R, I'd be surprised. It should be MA.
You got to tell them at least one bit of dankness from this. Tell the room. Tell the room. The sex room.
Okay, so the sex room. So there's a scene, I think it was the first episode.
It is the first episode.
Yeah, and so they go in and they go into like this club that's like a secret superhero club.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the characters is trying to show another character how like superheroes are like kind of fucked up and they're like they have their own vices and they're not what you think they are. So he walks into this place and the first thing you see is this couple floating over everybody else and they're fucking.
Oh.
So they're super fucking.
There's three couples fucking, but you see one right up in the screen.
Yeah,
she's riding.
Titties fucking going everywhere and shit. And then there was like this one dude who miniaturizes himself like the Ant-Man, and he's running on a table. He's running past some drinks, and then he jumps and dives into a chick's pussy.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Sign me up, I'm fucking sold.
Hold on, and then they have this one dude this is gay as fuck, but it is literally gay as fuck. He's getting his dick sucked by another guy. Okay. And then his body elongates into another chair, and then he's making out with two other guys. So he's getting his dick sucked on one couch, and then on the other side of the room, he elongates to make out with some other dudes. So it's like, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic would do that.
Yeah. I mean, this is literally the very first episode, maybe 20 minutes in.
God damn.
Yeah, and the fucked up part of it, I'm not even gonna tell you the most fucked up part of the episode, but it's just like when it happens, you're just like, what the fuck just happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like it hits you in the face, just like, whoa.
Can I ask this though? So for Amazon shows, do they release them all like Netflix, or do they do that 3 at a time like Vinland?
I think it's all at once, but I don't know. So this is what's interesting.
Okay.
So after we watched the first 2 episodes, they were fucking great.
Yeah.
They're really good. Like this is like the high 9s for me right now. Like this is a show that's going to humanize superheroes in a really bad way.
Nice.
Like what if the most asshole person that you knew got superpowers? And like what would they do? And they also deal with like social media and shit like that. Like, you know, what would you do for the most amount of likes and most amount of clicks? You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's really fucked up. People are gonna fucking love it. And so what happened is it's like, so we're watching a screener, right? As we're on the red carpet, I'm talking to one of the other guys that were there, and this other black dude, he was right next to me, and he was like, oh, I already watched the whole show, and I was like, what the fuck, how'd you already watch the whole show? The other guy was like, oh, I already watched it too. It's like, we got screeners. And so I went through my emails, and they sent me a link to watch the screeners. Like, I could have watched the whole fucking shit like a while back, and then I was clicking on the link, but apparently my shit didn't work. I guess they didn't add me onto it.
Yeah.
And so I did it today, and so I watched the 3rd episode today, and it's just like, dude, like, first of all, we're missing like a whole portion of like shit that we should be getting for this podcast. You know what I mean? Like early access to shit, stuff like that. So we're gonna up our game on that stuff. So that's gonna be really cool in the future. But this show is it's probably gonna please a lot of fans. I can't see this going below probably 8. To me, it's like it's well into the 9s.
Right now on IMDb, it's sitting at a 9.1.
Yeah,
Really?
because I mean, the users got to rate it on IMDb, and a lot of people got to see it. So we saw it with a bunch of people. It was blowing my mind that we're watching this show with like a packed like field because we were outside. And with like movie stars and TV stars that are literally 2 rows behind me, off to my left and off to my right and directly behind me. Like, I mean, some of these people that they filmed this, they're on screen, so they were cool with like seeing our reaction to this for the first time. I'm actually kind of glad that we didn't watch the screeners because I got to see it with an audience, with stars, and get my first react out there, and then get to report to everybody else what I saw based off of the con.
Yeah, got to enjoy it. You know what's funny is like as we're watching it, there's people walking around with like popcorn and milkshakes and drinks and shit. Yeah. I was just like, this is fucking cool as shit. Like it was a lot of fun. Amazon knows how to throw a fucking dope party.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting, which I didn't know until after the fact, so this is the reason why San Diego Comic-Con, why you need to give us 5 fucking press passes. We couldn't cover everything.
Yeah.
All right. So apparently the area that we're in was the Amazon Video experience, and so every day the whole venue changed except for the tower, right? Yeah. And so like the first night I think it was Carnival's Row, the second night I think it was the Expanse, and or whatever, and
Saturday,
whatever other night was the Boys. I think changed everything for each event.
I think one of the nights was also the King in the High Castle.
Maybe, yeah. Well, no, it wasn't because I got because I got all the media stuff afterwards. You didn't get it.
I think last year,
probably did. It probably went to my spam like yours.
Yeah.
Amazon last year had they had that one show with the guy who plays Shazam.
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. That's not the same guy. It's a different guy. We talked about this on the podcast. It's the guy from The Office.
Wait, isn't Shazam from The Office?
No.
Where's he from?
He's from Chuck. Chuck, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They look the same.
They do look like they're brothers, but they're not the same guys.
Well, I'm glad that Amazon is putting in a lot of effort to get people to watch it, because there's a lot of shows on Amazon that nobody watches.
True. Yeah.
But to be honest with you, The Expanse is an instant watch for me. It should be for all y'all that listen to the podcast.
Do they have the old seasons on there?
I think so.
Because the new one's supposed to be obviously on Amazon.
Yeah, so it would make sense if they got the old rights.
That'd be good.
But The Boys is that's a must watch for me right now. And Carnival Row I haven't watched yet. I know it has the girl from if you watched not Justice League, Suicide Squad, she was the Enchantress.
Oh yeah.
So she's like a fairy or some shit.
Cara Delevingne or whatever.
Yeah, and then
it's fine, but
and Orlando Bloom is in it too.
Oh wow!
So those are the two of the main characters.
I haven't seen that guy since fucking the
Pirates movie.
Yeah.
No, not even Pirates. The Lord of the Rings. The last movie I seen him in.
And so the coolest thing about these parties is that you can go to these parties and meet the whole cast. Nice. Like you can take pictures with them, do whatever.
Take shots with them.
I was gonna say, really?
Don't do whatever, definitely.
Yeah. Enjoy us.
Hang out and shit.
You can ask, I guess, if you get consent.
That was definitely super. There was a lot of. We did a lot.
I could have with the. Never mind.
Friday. This is Friday. So we did a lot on Friday, hobnobbing and stuff, and we kind of left, I think, after the Amazon thing.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really go out. Or did we?
I needed some rest.
Yeah, okay, no. So we did leave then. So that was Friday night. So then there was Saturday. So Saturday...
nothing but crickets.
Yeah, no, Saturday... Oh, so I got to meet some very cool podcasters. They're actually kind of semi-famous. I know that Blue listens to them.
Oh, yeah.
He got me onto them, but I got to meet Ashley Victoria Robinson and Jason Inman from Geek History Lesson.
You just ran into them, or what?
No, they had a booth.
Oh, good.
I went and bought their comic and got a signed copy of Jupiter Jet, which you can see here. Which, if you're watching the podcast on YouTube, you can see that they signed here, and they gave me a little thing.
They're huge comic book nerds, and on their podcast they talk about, they go into history, they choose one character and spend an hour talking about that character, and a lot of information I know about comic books is from that.
They do their research pretty heavily, but they're also involved. I mean, they're comic creators. They're also Jason used to work for DC All Access.
Yep.
Yeah. And then they also do like they review the CW Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Every episode on YouTube, and they do it with other creators, like other podcasters, other comic writers, other artists, whatever. They have like a little crew. They even said, I gave them one of her cards, and Ashley said, there might be a chance that they come on our show.
Good shit.
So I told Ashley, you can't play with me like that. They're like, hey, we understand we do a podcast like you guys do. I mean, we help people out, and we would like to, check you guys out. Maybe show up on the podcast one day.
That'd be so dope.
Ashley's so bad.
I refer to them all the time. Did you ask me if they're married? Because
they are. No. So I tried to give them two business cards. Ashley's all, we just need one because we're married, so we'll just keep on to it. And I'm all, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I got Jason to do his impression, Doctor Strange impression.
Nice.
He does that a lot. He does it a lot in a lot of their podcasts, which is pretty funny. And it's funny because he says they're expressive. Like when he does it, he like smacks the mic and stuff, so they have to like fix it in post pretty much. But they're really cool to meet. I'm very grateful for meeting them. They're great. Hopefully, we'll have them on the podcast sometime in the future, which would be amazing.
See, I think I saw Ashley once when we were at WonderCon. Like I was crossing the street.
Was there.
Yeah, I was crossing the street and she was coming across. I'm like, that girl looks really familiar. And like I turned around, down, like looked at her, and she like looked at me like, oh my god, this guy's gonna like talk to her or something like that. But I think it was her, but I didn't know. I wasn't for sure, so I just kept on walking.
Yeah, no, I got a chance to meet them. They told everyone on Twitter where they're going to be at. They're only going to be signing for like an hour or two. So I went over. I wanted to support them. I've been wanting to read Jupiter Jet for a while. Jason also had his book, but it's easier when you're at a con. It's best to have cash on you.
Yep.
It's just easier, especially for the artist and for for you.
Hookers.
I mean, yeah, yeah, sure. But I didn't want to use my card, and I was like, well, I had my last bit of cash, just spent it on that. So I can always get Jason's book later, but yeah, I was really hell bent on getting the trade for Jupiter Jet because that's like their first comic.
You go to any panels that day? See anything else?
This.
Saturday?
We tried to get into Hall H. There's some issues, but we managed to get one of us into Hall H.
Okay.
Which will be when Cronus gets back. But I spent I spent a lot of the time on the floor. I don't think I went to any other panel because there's nothing else really to see except for Kevin Smith. He closed out Hall H, but Hall H was so fucking packed that even though when like one panel got out, they just filled it with thousands of more people.
Yep.
And there was like 3 times as many press people trying to get in versus when we went Thursday night for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But Saturday was I don't want to step on you, but wasn't Saturday the big Marvel day?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say to you. I didn't. So because there were so many people and that they were at capacity, they had this thing where if there's more than one person from the same outlet, only one of you could go in to give other outlets the chance to go in. So these 2 guys were trying to go in, and they were arguing about who's going to go. And based on that determined if one of us went. Damn. So they ended up arguing with each other, then they both left the line, which gave us a chance to get one of us in. So without further ado, Cronus is back. He can talk about his experience.
So great, Cronus. Yeah, thank Cronus since you're back.
So Carlito Sway, what's going on? He commented on one video that I posted earlier, the one about me walking the floor, and he was like, he thought he saw me there, but he didn't know if it was really me, so he didn't say what's up. It was me, So.
Oh yeah, I mean before this we ran into Victor.
Yeah, from VZ.
So we saw him and his wife. So we had a chance
they had
to
a
talk
little
to
kid
them.
there too.
No, it was just the 2 of
adorable.
them. Nah, they didn't have the kid with them. Their kid was at like practice or something.
Oh yeah, Victor, if you're listening to this, which I know you probably are,
or will.
Yeah, you and your wife mentioned that there was an artist that would be good for our podcast. So let us know who he was because we didn't write it down. So we'll hit him up. Carlitos, if you ever see me again, now you know what I look like in person. If you see me in person again, just say what's up. I'm pretty personable. So yeah.
And that's when, if he's on the mat choking people out, don't say hi to him.
No,
might get choked out.
I'll check you out and then say hi.
Yeah.
But
How you doing?
Yeah. Well, Hall H, we missed a couple of like big panels because like there was the Terminator Salvation panel, which was early in the day, which Tom Cruise hijacked with his Top Gun announcement, and then they went on to Dark Phoenix.
Too.
It does look good.
Call that shit Top Dick.
Yeah. And then they had the Terminator panel with the whole cast was there. Arnold was there. They brought in Edward Furlong, I guess, from some crack house or some shit, because he's back. He was up there.
Wait, is Val Kilmer back in for Top Gun?
Apparently so.
Because that motherfucker's fat as fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
he's had some health issues.
Yeah, he has, but
that's true.
So he was there for Top Gun, but he's also in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Nice.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Marvel didn't won the whole goddamn thing. You were there?
Yes, I was.
Marvel was
there.
letting it rain with fucking content.
It was fucking amazing. So, I go there. Hold on, I'm trying to pull a picture. And I was in the press pit. So this is what kind of sucked. So I was literally the last person that could go in the press pit.
Oh.
Literally the fucking last person.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy. And so I go in there, and the first time I went in the press pit as a press member into Hall H, like I said before, I got to sit down. And this one I had to stand in the press pit. And they moved the press pit into the fucking sun. So I was standing in the sun for like 2 hours, and then I had to stay in the press pit. There's no seating. Yeah. So you had to stand the whole time. So I've literally been standing for like close to 5 hours like the whole time. And I was just like, what the fuck? Luckily that day I think I brought snacks. So it was okay, but I was just like, dude, this is fucking crazy. But it was worth it. All right, y'all, because the first thing they came out with was they didn't talk about Black Widow first. It was I think it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the first thing that I saw that I can remember. And it was cool because, you know, Sebastian Stan and what's that dude's name?
Anthony Mackie.
Clarence.
Fighting Vipers.
Fighting Vipers. Yeah, he came out and it's funny because they were
On your right.
they were talking about some stuff and I literally screamed out from the press pit, "Fighting Vipers!" And the fucking press pit laughed. It's pretty fucking funny.
That's right, he is in that.
So yeah, it's a show that's going to be coming to Disney Plus. They were going pretty hard with Disney Plus. That's going to be part of the MCU, which is good because we're finally getting shows that we know for sure are going to be in the MCU, unlike the Netflix shows, because they made reference to them.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like you never saw anybody from there and shit like that. So they're definitely me from the MCU.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few shows that they announced for that have been talked about before, but they gave us more details.
Okay.
There was no really more details about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was just them talking about how they're excited to make the show and they're making it whatever. Then they announced. I don't know. I'm probably in the wrong timeline, but I'm just going to go in sort of order. The Eternals. All right. So the Eternals is pretty dope because it's going to really expand upon the Marvel universe in like the literal universe sense, as far as like. I don't know the right word to use, but
celestial
beings, being out there. So this is going to be a really great show. They started announcing characters, and they announced Selma Hayek, and I was like, what the fuck? Selma Hayek. So I got a video, I think I have a video of her like coming on the stage.
Nice.
And then they announced Angelina Jolie, and I was like, what the fuck? In an MCU movie?
Yeah.
What? And the director is a woman, so it's interesting to that. I think it's cool that these women are getting movies for the MCU because there was another show too another movie that's a woman director.
Has she directed something else?
I don't know her name.
No? Okay.
But I didn't know fucking Patty Jenkins from anybody.
I knew her from Monster, but all right.
I knew her from Monster. So, I think it's cool that they're just, as long as it's not some forced shit. But
say what you said in the group when Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie was in the same room.
Oh, I was breathing the same air as them. I was like, oh, this is great.
Did the air get a little bit sweeter?
Yeah, Selma Hayek is fucking tiny. She was wearing platform shoes, and she was barely taller than the little kid that was on stage. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know she was that small.
God damn.
Angelina Jolie is like, she's pretty tall, but she's very slender in real life. I was like, I didn't know she was that skinny. And they talked a little bit about it because they're still in production and they had nothing to show for it. So that's fine. But it was cool to like get all those main names to come out. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was the next one up.
Salma Hayek is 5'2".
She's 5'2"? Okay,
she's tall.
I'm not surprised.
She's a little bit taller than Tweedness.
Actually, I'd be surprised if she's 5'2". Seriously, if they would have said 5 feet tall, I'd have been like, okay. So yeah, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was a really interesting one because they showed some scenes how we all missed the Ten Ring symbol through like MCU movies. And it was basically, they alluded to it. They had the tattoo on like 3 different people.
Wow. That
most people missed. It was like one was on like somebody was about to get shot in the face and was on his wrist. And another one was on a guy's neck, but it was partially covered up by like his jacket.
Okay.
So, and we all knew, and the Mandarin's coming back.
Yeah.
Because the real Mandarin.
A real Mandarin.
The real Mandarin's coming.
Who's Asian.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And they announced the guy who's going to play Shang-Chi, who is nobody that I know, and he's been in nothing that I know of. They literally gave him the call like 4 days before Comic-Con.
Oh, damn.
He got the part, so he came out. He was a really cool guy. He seemed pretty likable. He was funny. So that was pretty dope.
What's the release date on that one?
It's 2021. So this is not even being really in production yet. They're just getting actors collected.
Yeah.
Eternals comes out in 2020. It's in production, but so early on they showed nothing. The next one up was WandaVision, which I didn't know was Scarlet Witch and Vision.
Yeah.
So that's why it's called WandaVision. And it's supposed to be really weird.
Okay.
So
they've had some comics together for a long time now.
Yeah. So that should be it.
Doesn't it take place in the 50s or something like that?
I think so, but they said it's going to be weird because the next show that I'm going to talk about, the next movie, has Scarlet Witch in it, which is weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But, so go ahead.
And I was going to say, WandaVision's going to be part of Disney Plus, right?
Yes, it's a TV show. It's a show.
Yeah, okay.
The next up was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and that's going to have Scarlet Witch in it. So they had Benedict Cumberbatch come out. And before, in WandaVision, they had both the actors come out.
Okay.
Oh, I guess the big reveal about the Doctor Strange is going to be the first MCU horror film.
movie. Yeah. Because we were supposed to have, what was it, New Moon's supposed to be a horror film, but that shit kind of fell out the window.
That's vaporware.
That's probably going to show up on Disney Plus.
But I think that was Fox, though, that was making that, right?
Yeah, that was
Fox.
So next up would be Loki, which is also on Disney Plus. It's going to be a show, and they already explained how there's going to be a Loki show. He's supposed to be dead. They explained it in a way that most comic book fans should already understand. If you watched Endgame, he's alive.
Yep. So
it's going to be a version of Loki before he got his morals kind of reinstalled into him.
Still Hiddleston, though.
Yeah, still Hiddleston. Okay. Yeah, he came out and was there, and so it's going to be a previous version of Loki where he was still doing gangster ass villain shit.
So do Disney backing up their Brinks truck? Just saying.
Did they explain why Loki's logo is 4 different styles of characters or letters?
Not yet. No.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I want to know if maybe I don't know, the symbols are for different characters that are going to be on the show or something. Like the green is the Hulk and maybe Hawkeye, or I don't know. I'm just fucking around trying to figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah, I don't know. They also announced Marvel's What If, which is going to be a very exciting
so fucking dope
series, because if y'all have read the What If comics, it's basically what would happen if Wolverine was really the Sorcerer Supreme. It'd be really ridiculous scenarios, and they'll do a comic book just about that. So this is going to be that. I doubt it's going to be live action.
Yeah, it's supposed to be animated.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be animated. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's going to have the Watcher in it, Uatu, who is going to be voiced by Jeffrey Wright.
Very interesting.
So,
the guy from Westworld, right?
Yeah. Yes, but it's going to have all the actors that were in the MCU. They're all going to be in What If.
Yeah, I heard that one of the episodes going to be What If Peggy Carter became Captain America.
Yeah, that
sounds fucking dope.
I think that's one of the what-ifs.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, Hawkeye got announced. The big one for that was that Kate Bishop is going to be in Hawkeye, who is another Hawkeye.
Is she? But she's not going to be the lead over Jeremy Renner, or she is going to be.
I believe Jeremy Renner is going to be in it because he came out.
Okay,
but they didn't show who Kate Bishop was or is going to be. So
isn't that his daughter in the?
No,
in the
she's the Uber fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thor: Love and Thunder was announced. Which is great because they're bringing in Lady Thor.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, no, the thing about it, and I'm not shitting on them, there was nothing shown about it at all, but what was interesting was she obviously had a very vocal spat with the MCU. She wanted no parts of them after
once Disney backs out that Brinks truck, and they open up the door and say, Miss Portman, look what we have for you. And she's like, oh, okay.
I mean, they're making her, less of a love interest and more into a lead.
Yeah, but
that makes sense. So Valkyrie, what's her name?
Oh, Tessa Thompson.
Tessa Thompson. She's going to be the king of Asgard.
Yeah.
They said the king, not the queen.
Yeah, they said the king.
Multiple times. She's the king, which is weird. But I mean, weird only because they say king instead of queen. Which is fine, because you can be the queen of something and still rule everything. So whatever. I love the Lady Thor storyline. I don't downplay that at all. I think most folks that have read it understand why. Most folks that haven't read it kind of shit on it, but to me it was a really good story.
Yeah, people are like, oh, a woman Thor, what the hell?
And I mean, I read it as well. I wasn't as much of a fan of it, probably because of some of the things there was a lot going on with mantle changing at the time. It wasn't the worst by any stretch.
I think it was actually for me it was one of the best with mantle changes, because they respected the previous character.
Ooh, see, I disagree with that.
No, because he was still sort of in the comic. He passed down the mantle. I think where we're going to agree is her total lack of a rogues gallery.
Definitely on the rogues gallery.
Unique.
But I liked what they did with the Frost Giants and her. I mean, I'm not shitting on it completely at all. My biggest issue was, and we talked about this 3 years ago, but Thor's name is Thor. So, and for the MCU, it'll be interesting to see how they do this. Remember, Cap and Vision have wielded Mjolnir and been worthy. It's going to be interesting to see how they do this.
Thor is also the name of the god of thunder.
Yes.
So if she's the god of thunder,
but I guess what I'm still saying, to change, we had to call Thor Odin's son, and that was awkward, at least for me.
Because he was no longer the god of thunder.
Yeah,
Like,
but his name is still Thor.
Well, but that's the thing, though, is like it was literally like when she picked up the hammer,
Yeah.
she became Thor.
Yeah, it's just that we'll see how they do it. There's been so many other people who have wielded Mjolnir and
Well, yeah, you
not
could say
done
like
that.
Beta Ray Bill or something like that. But
Yeah.
he also passed the name down. Everybody called her Thor. She wielded Thor's powers, which is it's a little different from like most mental changes where you're not gaining the exact powers of the other person. But in this one, she literally did. When she picked it up, she gained Thor's powers.
And then some, because she had her own unique twist on it, which was fun.
It was a fucked up twist.
Yeah.
Which is why I liked it.
Yeah, but I have a little bit of an issues with some of the fans after Ragnarok, which was by far the best solo Thor movie, which she wasn't in. There weren't a whole lot of people verbally saying, "Oh, I miss Natalie Portman so much in the MCU" after her very public spat with them.
I don't think it's about that. I think it's about knowing that they're trying to bring more female fans into the MCU, and they have a very recent comic of Lady Thor that could fit hopefully well into this series.
Yeah, but my biggest issue is some of the people who are so rah-rah about this, number one, like you mentioned, didn't read the comic at all.
Yeah.
And then secondly, didn't give two shits about anything having to do with Natalie Portman after the best Thor movie came out, and he was so good in the most recent Avengers. But this came out of nowhere, which we'll see how it works. You know what I mean?
She was just a semi-love, on and off love interest with Thor prior to her gaining the powers.
Yeah. I've seen her bring it in quite a few other roles.
Oh, yeah.
I like Natalie Portman a whole fucking lot. We'll see what she brings to this.
Yeah, I've seen like really strange, like our poor homie Quan.
Yeah.
He has a big issue about how I guess he feels like Marvel, Disney, is disrespecting Thor by moving on through someone else by using a fairly recent storyline. And I'm just like, well,
some of that is bullshit too.
Because
I'm bullshit.
Well, I can tell you why that's bullshit. I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The reason it is bullshit in terms of him saying fairly recent storyline is, in the 70s, a What If comic literally described what if Jane Foster had Mjolnir. Mm-hmm. So this is a concept that goes back about 50 fucking years.
Not only that, there was another Thor. There was a Thor Rita, which I guess was Jane as well, where she wielded it by accident or some bullshit. It didn't last very long.
Well, and it's also, let's be fucking real here. There's nothing anywhere that says that you cannot make a movie that's based on recent fucking comics.
Of course.
Whoever the fuck says that is fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you keep up with the most recent shit?
Miles Morales was relatively new for Spider-Verse.
Yeah. It's so fucking dumb.
Damien in Batman is relatively new.
Oh yeah, that's another issue.
Batwoman.
We have not
Harley
seen.
Quinn.
We haven't seen a live action Damien, have we? Damien Wayne.
No. But Laura X-23 we saw, and
yes, we did. She's
new,
relatively
and she's
new.
not even from the comics. She's from the goddamn cartoon.
Yes, actually,
a great character.
Yeah, Harley Quinn, X-23, Livewire, all from animated series.
Yeah,
and a lot of people love them.
All right, so moving on.
Wait, before you say that, I was gonna just say oh god, what's her name? The one that becomes queen. She becomes king of Tesla.
Yeah.
Apparently for her, they're gonna give her a female love interest, which is gonna be like kind of the first.
She alluded to that too because she said, "I'm the king. I need a queen."
Yeah.
And I think she's gay in real life too. She's dating,
I think
she's bi.
She's dating that one singer, right?
Janelle Monáe?
Yeah.
I thought they broke up.
Both of them are hot.
People are gonna get angry about it. I don't really give a shit.
Nah, I don't either.
So I mean,
but I thought she was smashing on the Hulk.
When I say I don't give a shit, I mean that I don't give a shit about that kind of relationship. You know what I mean? Like, they're gay, okay, fine.
And here's the other thing, too. Again, she kicked fucking ass in Ragnarok. She was one of the best new characters we'd seen come into the MCU out of nowhere.
She kicked ass in Endgame.
But folks are gonna focus on the fact that she's gay, and they're gonna pull a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. Like any of that shit matters in your fucking life. Listen, if you have a problem with gay folks and you have a problem with that shit in a movie, don't fucking watch it. Yeah. Don't sit there and complain about it. Nobody's complaining about your shitty sex life.
And
don't give them your money if you don't.
And it's been in Marvel for quite a while.
Yeah.
You just don't read comics because Iceman been sucking dick for a long fucking time.
Yeah. And Thor,
blew my mind.
nobody's bitching about Valkyrie switching races either, because in the comics she's white.
Very true.
Everyone else has been silent about that, but they're all bitching about.
They were more upset with Heimdall.
Oh yeah,
Who nobody gave a fucking damn about. Let's be real.
they were pissed about Heimdall.
Yeah.
I forgot about that shit.
All right. So, moving on. This is one I can talk a little bit more in depth about because there was shit that I saw that nobody else saw that I can talk about now.
Okay.
So Black Widow came out next, and honestly, so David Arbor's in the movie, which I didn't know.
Okay.
He's going to be in it. Obviously, the rest of the cast is going to be in there too. I forget there was a black dude in there. I forget the guy's name. The Black Widow has like a quote unquote sister that's in it. She's pretty hot.
Okay.
So, and I got to see.
Rachel Weisz?
No, Rachel Weisz is in it too. Yes.
Yeah, she's bad.
Which is pretty cool. So, you know what's funny? Because, like, literally 2 weeks before San Diego Comic Con, I was watching something, and Rachel Weisz was in it, and I was like, what the fuck is she up to? I remember her being hot as fuck back in the day.
She was from The Mummy?
Yeah, The Mummy. And I was like,
yeah.
what's she up to now? Well, she's in fucking Black Widow. All right, so, and so I got to see shit that none of y'all got to see. You will never see it online because they will pull your shit quick as fuck if somebody recorded it, which is funny. Okay, it's kind of a weird sort of a segue before I talk about what I want to talk about.
Or
but
caveat.
yeah, so as we're in the press pit, like they make sure that everybody in the audience knows that do not record any of the video portions of this panel. So like literally everybody in the press pit is just like has their camera and their phone at the ready until the lights come up, because the lights go down when the video plays, and when lights come up, everybody's phones or cameras go whoop. We're all trying to get like at least a photo of like the card of the title, right? Which is really interesting, but you won't find what I saw online because Marvel's gonna fucking sue the shit out of somebody. So I got to see footage of the Black Widow, and I will be 100% honest with you, I was not interested in the movie.
Yeah,
before I saw this trailer.
You've been pretty adamant on this podcast saying like Black Widow movie that's just gonna do shit. I mean, I didn't think it would do shit.
That sounds like
This is
the Oathbreaker.
No, I probably talked some shit too.
Oh, okay.
But
I think
I was totally wrong. This is gonna go. This is gonna go in history as another BTI Wonder Woman moment.
Yeah.
Where we talk shit about Wonder Woman and we're like, fuck that shit. Oh, they're gonna make her fucking weak. Blah blah blah. Black Widow. The shit that I saw was fucking dope, like heroin.
It's like action, like fight scenes, or just like okay.
So the first thing they showed was a fucking. So they're going back to Budapest. They're gonna explain what happened in Budapest.
Okay.
And so the first thing they show is like her and her quote unquote sister getting into this fucking Jason Bourne John Wick fight.
Nice.
And it was fucking insane.
No,
Like,
damn.
It starts out with guns, ends with knives, fucking hand to hand. They're choking each other with fucking sheets and shit. It's fucking crazy.
Is Clint there?
That's my girl.
It's Clint. I gotta remember. I don't think so.
In this in
In the
what you saw?
trailer,
In what you
no,
saw?
not that I can remember.
Okay.
But then they also kind of fast forward into like a different scene where she's fighting. I don't know who the fuck this character is because I don't know that many Black Widow villains. I didn't think she had many or any at all. But there was this villain that they had. This chick had basically a smaller Captain America shield and like this full body armor and like this crazy fucking helmet with a hoodie on. And she was getting down with Black Widow. Like they were fucking. Black Widow was trying to shoot her, and she used the fucking shield to block that shit. And they got into this crazy fight on a bridge I was breaking down, and it looked really fucking good. Like those two scenes alone have me on board with watching the movie. It looks like almost like a Jason Bourne type movie. I think that they shut me up so far. Seriously, it looked really good. And I hope in a couple of months, because they're only 30 days into filming.
Oh damn, they already got that shit going on.
Yeah, 30 days filming the show.
When does it drop?
I don't know.
Not May 1st, 2020.
Oh, is it?
Or
Yeah,
May
yeah.
7th.
May 1st. May 1st.
Okay.
And they announced that not the Moonlight Rider.
Oh, Taskmaster?
Taskmaster's gonna be in it. I said Moonlight Rider.
The person I saw, if
a
it was
female, though.
if it was Taskmaster,
Nah, I
it
don't
was
think-
female, and it was like the wrong. It definitely wasn't a skull mask.
No, I think that I know, like from the things I've seen, is that it's somebody she went to school with. It's somebody who was one of the girls who were in her
something.
in the red camp.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it might be one of the like early, like a later iteration from Peggy Carter's series Masquerade.
That's not what it was. That's not-
Masquerade had a mask and she kind of has like a veil, which could be a hoodie, because Masquerade has that, and I think Peggy Carter fights her, and I think this might be a later version of that.
I think it was
that's just
Rachel
speculation
Weisz.
for now.
I'm pretty sure
it could be.
But I don't really fucking know because they didn't tell us. But like I said, the trailer was dope. Oh, I forgot to. I'm gonna rewind a little bit. The person. Oh, I'm sorry. The Boys season 2 is already in production and it's halfway done.
Nice.
I forgot to say
They're
that.
confident with that.
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Oh,
Trust me,
they've earned it.
they've definitely earned it. Yeah.
God damn it.
And then the last thing that they announced was fucking Blade.
God damn it.
Mahershala Ali is gonna play Blade, and people are kind of butthurt about it. They're saying needs to be the martial artist, blah blah blah. Listen, motherfucker, literally nobody in the MCU had any sort of fucking martial arts background. None of them are badasses. They all have what's called choreographers and people that show them how to fight.
Stuntmen.
Yeah, and also stuntmen. Yeah, if you're not fucking Tom Cruise, you have stuntmen, and you can still learn. You know what I mean? He's not that fucking old. And he's in his like 40s or some shit.
Yeah, like early 40s.
2-time Academy Award winner.
Yeah. Almost.
actor.
Is he back-to-back winner?
Either that or there was a gap
one-
year
yeah.
in between.
Yeah.
Was he in Luke Cage?
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth, that's what I thought.
So a lot of people were saying that this casting kills off the Netflix MCU spin-offs.
The character was already dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. One of the characters was already dead, and apparently a lot of people forgot that Alfre Woodard played 2 characters in the MCU. She's first in Civil War as the mom who lost his son, who tells Tony Stark, who sets off his spark to do registration, and then she also plays Black Mariah, a very prominent character in Luke Cage.
Listen,
So
I'm honestly offended that somebody was like, everybody before this was like, yo, we need another Blade. Then all of a sudden they announced Mahershala Ali and they're like, oh, I don't know. What the fuck?
Yep.
Seriously, like what the fuck?
He's an awesome actor.
They're chanting for Wesley Snipes. I mean, look, Wesley Snipes is great, but he's like, what, 60?
I mean, he's still in good shape, but still,
Yeah.
I don't mind that he's not in it.
We're talking about someone that needs to be in the MCU for probably a decade again. And that's probably not going to work for Wesley.
I like this casting. I like this a whole lot.
yeah,
I
I
think
do too.
I think he fits quite well. I think he's going to knock it out of the fucking park. I think he's going to be dedicated to it. And this does not mean that Wesley can't possibly be part of the Blade universe.
He can be Whistler. Shit.
Multiverses out there now.
There's
so-
a lot with this.
I mean, yeah, with their Doctor Strange, they could have Wesley show up just in uniform, just to say that he's Blade, real quick, in and out.
I read something about, I guess people caught on to Wesley's past with Halle Berry in terms of like the reason why she's deaf in like one ear is because of a domestic violence issue that.
I didn't know they dated.
I didn't know they dated.
Yeah,
Like,
like
smashed? What?
yeah, I like looked it up and like Halle Berry supposedly said like he ruptured because she's like partially deaf in like one of her ears
shit.
and shit like that.
That'd be real
I
foul.
was like, I didn't hear anything about that, and I actually Googled. I was like, Wesley Snipes, and like she.
Neither did she.
Damn.
That's why she got those dogs in John Wick.
They're hearing dogs.
So you Googled it and it seemed legit, is what you found?
I saw multiple links to it and everything where she actually said it was him because everyone knew about like her relationship with David Justice.
Yeah.
Well, he
and
had
everything.
he had a crazy like coke bender for a long time. He was like,
problems.
I think it was Blade 2 or 3 where he's coked up the whole time. This is like multiple.
I don't know
accounts.
what year this took place or whatever. I mean, it was back in the day.
I'll just say this, and I'm not defending if he did that. I'm not defending what he did. However, let's be perfectly fucking real. The fucking face of the MCU, Robert Downey Jr., had a lot of legal problems.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Hey,
The dude was in jail.
he was
I
in
mean,
jail.
come
He was in jail for a good year.
Yeah. So
A good year.
with lots of felonies, lots of second and third and fifth chances. I believe
But
that
his stuff was
Wesley
like-
could still be in the MCU, not as the lead of Blade, but something.
Yeah, his
Hey,
stuff
shit.
was like mainly like drinking drugs, right?
Yeah, but
and tax evasion.
DUI and a whole bunch of stuff.
I mean, shit, look at James Gunn. I mean, he said some crazy pedophilic shit.
Like
Got
10
fired
years ago,
and then rehired.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess because there's no Guardians 3 stuff announced or whatnot, people were like tweeting at James Gunn, and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but Guardians 3 is happening. But first is Suicide Squad 2, which I'm working on now."
Sorry, so they also talked about other movies that I guess nobody else picked up on. They confirmed Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
And they
huge.
They confirmed Mutants.
Yep.
So
Huge.
What's cool about them having Blade in the MCU is that we might get, because I know there's been rumors and stuff about there being a Morpheus movie, which is one of Spider-Man's villains.
That's a Sony film, though.
Yeah, but I think they can figure out how to tie it in. But then also that makes, Spider-Man's gonna have like maybe Blade might show up in there when he's like trying to kill off Morpheus or whatever storyline they go with Morpheus is fucking dope. But yeah, I really hope they kind of do some kind of spin with that. You know what I mean?
if y'all are real MCU fans, there would be no MCU without Blade.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure.
Nothing.
They're
True rated R horror Marvel movies.
And Blade better be rated R.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It needs to be violent. It needs to go there.
That'll be a problem if it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think y'all already know deep down already it's gonna be a hard PG-13.
It better not be. There's no such thing as hard PG-13.
Folks ain't going for that.
No.
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Disney they've make so much money. They can afford to take a hit on a chance on a rated R movie. They could at least get Deadpool money.
I don't even think it's a chance anymore. Yeah, Deadpool made money.
I mean,
Logan made good ass money.
So there was rumors that Black Widow might be rated R.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I hope so.
I could see that still being a PG-13.
I do too, but you never know. We could be surprised.
I didn't see the trailer.
But I mean, Blade, you can get away with shit in PG-13. It just won't be as much blood.
Nope. I don't want it.
Look, I'm very much down for this Fantastic Four and X-Men washing the taste out of some of these whack-ass Fox adaptations out of my mouth.
I won't be surprised. So here's some food for thought. I was thinking that using Shang-Chi, because I don't know that character very much, but I know about the Makluan rings. I won't be surprised if one of the rings is in Atlantis. Because there's supposed to be 10 rings. 5 rings gives you power.
Yeah, if they had Namor and then they could bring in the fucking Black Panther, that would be like probably Black Panther 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that could lead to Secret Wars with like that whole fucking war.
You could do
between
anything.
Wakanda and Atlantis.
I won't be surprised if like the after credit scene in Shang-Chi is like Atlantis, where there's a ring in there.
And even though obviously the rest of us weren't at Comic-Con, these announcements sucked all the air out of the internet.
Oh yeah,
This is it. This is all anybody was fucking talking about all over the fucking world.
Yeah, I mean Kevin Feige showed up himself, even though it's moderated by Jessica Chobot. Feige came with some shit for your ass.
Marvel, Disney can do R-rated stuff with Marvel because
They can do R-rated stuff for because under 20th Century Fox.
No, because they have like other studios that are part of Disney and they release R-rated movies. So
Yeah, like Fox.
Yeah, so Marvel they could do something. Yeah, so they have like Miramax and Dimension Films. What else do they have?
They have
Tombstone Pictures.
So technically, Marvel films were released under Buena Vista Studios, which is a Disney studio, which they've done R-rated films back in the day.
Blades definitely have to be R-rated, and I want to say Black Widow should be R-rated. Because we just want to see fucking like violence and shit. We don't need like watered down shit.
I don't mind with the Black Widow because I mean, if it's a lot of gunplay and violence, that's fine. But if you're doing vampires,
can you imagine if John Wick was it R-rated? Is John Wick R-rated?
Yeah, of course.
Well, John Wick is definitely R-rated.
John Wick is overtly violent.
Yeah, but I mean,
that shit is rated G for guns.
we saw, for Winter Soldier 2, those were epic fight scenes and gun battles and stuff like that, and we weren't just like, oh, that was bullshit. I didn't see the bullet penetrating the dude's skull and shit.
Yeah, a lot of people die.
Fine with that.
Yeah, you got to remember, a lot of like no-name people die in Marvel films, especially Winter Soldier, Civil War. A lot of people got blown up in the first like half hour in fucking Civil War.
Yeah, there's no blood though.
Yeah, vampires, blood, people getting their necks ripped off, and stakes through hearts. You can't just fucking.
No, you got to go into a fucking club and it's got to fucking rain blood.
So can't avoid that.
Speaking of Blade, have y'all read the recent Blade and Wolverine comic?
No.
It was a one-shot. It's actually really good. So I don't know what the fuck Marvel's thinking, but they've been like dick teasing Blade like for the past like 3 fucking years. He's been in a bunch of comics.
Yep.
But he needs to have his own comic. He still doesn't have his own comic.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? He's been in like the Avengers. He's been helping out a whole bunch of other team characters. He's helped out Riri Williams. All these other people. He's got his comic with Wolverine now. It's a one-shot, but it's like, why aren't we releasing a new Blade comic?
Yeah.
They should now with the lead up to the movie, but it's just like, it's a long time coming. I think people forgot about Blade.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would even be down for a gritty animated series, too, at some point.
Wait, didn't they have that at one point?
Yeah.
Way back?
Yeah. I'd like a reboot of that. Why the fuck not? So Marvel fucking kicked all kind of ass on this shit, man.
Yeah, they brought it. I mean, because Warner Brothers let the vacuum in, and Marvel said, "Oh, we'll take that."
Yeah, they did a really great job, and like being where I was in the room was fucking insane. Like that was probably one of the highlights of the whole con for me, being there. Old Ninja, you were at a different panel when I was at the Marvel panel.
Was I?
Were you? Or were you?
No, I was on the floor. That's why I made. After I met Jason and them, I saw like a bunch of different stuff that we didn't have time to while on the floor. Because the floor, if you watch the video, the floor was fucking packed, like dick to butt, ass to ass. It was fucking like
he was centipede up.
They literally need people in the con to direct people traffic.
Like there should literally be a fucking traffic signal in the middle of the fucking that walkway.
Not middle, like every intersection.
Yeah, because it's like motherfuckers were just walking, bumping to each other, and they have like lines for different panels that are like in the middle, and they have like breaks in between. It's so like really organized.
For me to get that fucking video, it was fucking retarded because I went to like a corner, like the back, like right corner of the whole con. There wasn't many folks there, so I was trying to bust out my DJ Osmo so I can like get the video, get ready, and I had to put the shit together because it comes in pieces. And so I'm getting everything together, and I'm like halfway done, and this lady was like, "Oh, you can't sit here in the middle of the con." I was like, "Well, first of all, I'm not fucking sitting. Like I'm kneeling down, trying to put the shit together, and I'm press, bitch. And like I'm trying to get press footage for your convention." And she was like, "Oh, you're blocking." And I'm like, "I'm not blocking anybody."
That's Mitch Hedberg's best line is, if you got legs and you're standing by a fire exit, you're not blocking the fire exit.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, I'm not gonna try to argue with this fucking person. So I just went up to the press room and then fucking put all my shit together. But it's just like super annoying. It's like, I mean, it was packed, but I was in a spot that was like literally wasn't that full. Like I wasn't blocking anybody's path, and I'm trying to like get footage for your event.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's kind of crazy. What I did see was I went back because the Star Wars, aka Lucasfilm, had like a pavilion, so it was multiple little like kiosks back to back in this one little area, and by their like logo, they had Cameron Monaghan, the actor who's going to be in the new Star Wars game. He's also on Shameless and on Gotham.
Nice.
And he was just there with a cosplayer as Darth Vader. I'm assuming on the Lucasfilm's payroll. They were doing a photo op right there. I got a picture of him there. It's on our Facebook page. You can check it out there. But it was just random that he's just standing there. I mean, I know that there are stars all over the panel. Some were in cosplay, so they can be obscured or whatnot. But there was what was weird to me. There was a lot of WWE like wrestlers there. They had like there was a panel for them, as well as some of the stars were there.
Wrestling's fucking huge, man.
Oh, I know it's huge, but I haven't seen them at the con before. Not at this level. So they had like a signing booth for the stars, and it was weird because Billy D. Williams was with them. So I managed to get a picture of Billy D. over there. Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay. But I was on the floor there. I also got to try out they ported Resident Evil 5 and 6 to the Switch.
You said Switch.
I meant Switch, sorry. Try to hold this in. But yeah, I'm playing the Switch, so I managed to check it out. The controls are still fucked up, but the AI is better, which is weird.
That sounds worse. The controls are still shit, but the AI is better.
At least for part 5. I didn't play part 6.
What he just said is literally why I don't fucking play Resident Evil.
Yeah,
well,
it was
but
weird.
They have fixed it. They've completely fixed that.
Sure. No.
No. Resident Evil Part 2.
Part 2 is totally different.
And 7. Those had nothing like
I own 7, haven't played it. And then they had a big ass line because the game dropped when we were at Comic-Con, which was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So they had like a bunch of kiosks where you can sit and play, but the line was like 45 minutes. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna wait in this line to
Stitch,
play.
you said you were picking this one up. Did you pick it up?
For
You need to switch.
not yet. I've heard like back and forth stuff about Marvel Ultimate, but I'm still undecided on the fence.
So not yet.
I don't know if it's like a handheld console buyer for me.
Yeah, so I read some things as well about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, but you know what's funny is that I watched the IGN reviews and they didn't say anything about the technical problems. Which I know some folks did.
Do you say tentacle problems?
Technical problems.
Oh, okay.
Technical problems. So I'm gonna get it. And I'll let you know, I guess, next week.
Okay.
I was going to play it when I was down there, but I didn't have time.
Yeah. Also, so after all the Hall H madness, we actually met up with some fellow podcasters. We met up with Gian from Daniel and Gian Talk Shit. There was a BioWare panel because they released new content for the Old Republic. So they had like a meet and greet, or it was like an
old ass game. Damn. Really?
Yeah, it's an old ass game with new content coming out this month.
It wasn't just a panel; they had a Star Wars cantina.
Yeah, they had a cantina. It was a meet and greet with was it open bar or no? No, it was not open
didn't
bar.
go up there.
No, it was not open bar, but they had a bar, and you can meet with some of the developers of the game, and they gave away some free swag and shit. They gave away some pretty cool shirts and shit, and they were limited, which is fucked up, because if you're the first like 100 people, you got a shirt. Other than that, you're fucked.
Wait, Cross, did you also run into a fan of the show while you were down there? The person that gives the greatest hugs of all time?
Yes, I did.
Homesteader.
I ran into Ella Darling again.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So as I was waiting for the Marvel panel to start, so I can get in there, I ran into Ella Darling, which is funny because I told her that we were going to be there and all this stuff, and then like I was like, oh, we should do a podcast if I see you at a bar again, like a random bar. And so I didn't see her at a random bar, which is where I normally see her. I saw her waiting in line, and she was cool as fuck. She has to come back on the podcast.
Nice.
Because she has new stuff going on. I think she stepped down for being
CEO or some shit.
No, it wasn't a CEO. It was chief something.
Oh, chief
of some company. So
Chief Titty company.
Oh, damn.
she was she's always fucking cool. So
Yeah, but
she does give really good hugs.
when we saw Gian, he was already fucking toasted.
Yeah.
He's already
Pretty
lit.
wasted.
Yeah, he's pretty
Fucking party.
I mean, he was drunk, but he wasn't wasted. He wasn't wasted until we got to the hotel, to the BioWare like Old Republic after party thing.
Well, let's be fair though. He wasn't being obnoxious or anything.
No, he was just.
He was tired and
Feeling himself.
yeah.
He's having a good time.
Oh yeah, he was definitely having a good time. It's just funny because he passed out.
And, he did. And there are pictures that you will not see on anything except for my personal social media. So
Good shit.
Fucking hilarious.
Man, sometimes when you're fucking tired, I mean, your body just is like, I'm done.
It's a lot of walking, a lot of heat.
and I got to meet another one of Prodigy's old friends from Fremont, Mark.
Yeah. Good people.
It's a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good. Good guy though.
He was a good guy.
He's always attending the cons.
Yeah.
This is Saturday closing it out. Was there any other panels?
No, because that was it. After Hall H, I think Marvel was kind of enough. There was Kevin Smith. I was trying to go, but then like Cronus was like, no, it's already too packed. You're not getting in. So that's when we left to go meet up with Gian, and then we met with him, went to the bar, whatnot, and we left literally the next morning, like super early.
Sunday morning.
So
Well,
yeah,
not super. I mean, we left early, but not super early.
it was pretty early.
We didn't leave at fucking 3:15 a.m. Oh no, 4 a.m. You know.
Sounds like I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like maybe The Witcher and Marvel was some of the highlights. What was the best thing you experienced?
The boys red carpet,
Yeah.
and definitely for me, like The Witcher stood out for me because that was like definitely interesting. And I hadn't played the games or read the books, but it got me interested. Dark Crystal, huge fan. But there's a bunch of stuff that we didn't get to see that I'm still interested in, like Terminator and Jay and Silent Bob because Kevin Smith was there. Top Gun, of course.
I know there was trailers released for the next season of Arrowverse or the CW-verse.
Yeah. So there was a meet and greet with them inside the fucking exhibit panel, and there were so many fucking people there. It was fucking crazy.
I heard something.
Of course you did.
I heard some shit. I heard your girl from Batwoman was a no-show.
Yeah, she bitched out last minute. I mean, that's not my girl.
That's Ruby Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruby Rose. She bitched out last minute because she said she had to do some pickup shots and couldn't make it.
Okay.
Some pickup shots.
Pickup shots. Yeah, which you have to go back and reshoot stuff.
Why are
to
you
fill
saying
in.
she bitched out?
I didn't say she bitched out.
You literally just said that.
I think
No,
that was
I
me.
didn't.
That was me.
Was it you?
Yeah, because a lot of people. Yeah, that was me. Because a lot of people expect her to be there.
I'm sitting right here.
Why would you say that?
Because
though?
there's a lot of heat. A lot of people wanted her to answer about what was going on with the promo for Batwoman.
Yeah,
How
but-
she basically kind of shits on Batman a little bit.
you
I
can't-
mean, that's not on her. I realize that.
Yeah, but you can't say she bitches out if
I mean,
she had legit shit. I mean, she had to make. She gets paid to act.
she does.
So, yeah, if she has to go do some other acting shit, then
I mean, she's not the only one. There was a Game of Thrones panel, and David Benioff and DB Weiss, they bombed out last minute too.
you know, if somebody doesn't show up, I mean, it's not that these people have they have lives and other people they have to
Other work.
Yeah, it's just like if they don't show up, I don't think it's negative. I mean, they're trying to do their own thing and make that money. You know, unless they have some. There's very few scenarios I can think of where it's like them not showing up would be like a total negative. It's just like, dude, they have some other shit going on. They're just fucking people.
They're definitely. I agree with you. They're definitely people. I'll put it to you like this. So for the HBO Game of Thrones, the show is completely concluded, and we've seen the last episode. This one you're trying to promote because it hasn't been released yet. So there is a certain oddness to her not being there.
If she had to go back and reshoot, it's like as he just mentioned.
Yeah.
then-
Was she tweeted out? She apologized, made a video on Instagram.
That's cool.
So then
Why she couldn't be
definitely
there.
didn't bitch out. She had work. She had shit that she got paid to do, to be there for.
Hopefully.
I don't think she gets paid to go to Comic-Con.
Wasn't it announced?
At least not as much.
Probably not.
Didn't they announce or at least they showed I'm not sure if they showed the trailer or actually have the movie there, the whole Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans.
There was
already.
There was a.
But I think they aired it there though. I think what's his name from DVA, Victor. I think
he went?
I think he went to go watch it with his daughter.
Yeah, they had
I thought it went there.
They might have. They also
That
showed.
was the day after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they showed Batman Hush there as well, which we didn't see, but it was a late showing as well. It was like at 10 at night. So we were at a different event at that time. So also HBO's The Watchmen, the TV series, they dropped that. We didn't go to their panel either, but I'm interested in seeing that.
That was
that
really
trailer.
interesting.
So
Yeah, because it has what's her name? Regina.
oh, Regina King.
Yeah, she's in it.
Yeah, and then they teased Dr. Manhattan in the trailer.
They got to get that look right. If Dr. Manhattan looks right, I'm down for this.
Well, you talking about his dick dangling?
His blue balls, blueness. I need to see.
Blue,
It's
you
not-
is blue dick.
Nah,
Blue dick
All right.
and blue
Shining
balls,
blueness.
all glistening and shit, huh?
If you want to see a blue dick, I mean, I can.
Damn it.
Prodigy loves the blue cocks. I'm just saying.
There's just a bunch of crazy shit there. Like there was a Adult Swim area,
Yeah.
which was different for me because normally behind the convention center, there's not a whole lot going on.
Oh, where the boats are? And
Yeah,
stuff?
where the boats are and shit, but Adult Swim took over this lot.
Yeah.
Where there was a shit ton. It was like a carnival, but it was all Adult Swim themed.
There was
Rick and
also-
Morty shit.
There was also two boats that were. One was by Warner Media. The other one was by somebody else. IMDb.
IMDb.
Yeah.
And then there's this other boat. I don't know who the fuck owned this shit, but this motherfucker had fuck you money.
Yeah.
This dude had a fucking yacht that had a fucking helicopter dock on it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure he's got a boat on there and probably a fucking snowmobile. This motherfucker could go anywhere on Earth and be all right.
This
I was like,
li-
God damn.
This is literally the zombie apocalypse fucking yacht. For real. You could survive on water. If you needed to get on land, use a helicopter. I'm pretty sure there was a garage in this fucking
That
yacht.
had to have been. He had a fucking helicopter.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane looking.
Just chilling like it was supposed to be there. Like, what the fuck?
Flexing on him.
Yeah, that back part of the convention center where all the boats notes and shit are is fucking insane because a lot of like IMDb will have fucking like interviews and like have it on a giant screen like above it so people can like watch it on the outside. But if you're like walking that path and like a celebrity's about to cross, they close off that whole section until they fucking get to the IMDb.
That seemed like legit.
You know, it's crazy. Some of these, some of the booths that were there, like the DC booth especially, was fucking gigantic.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was 2 stories tall. In the top, they were giving interviews basically all day.
Yeah, and they were doing on Saturday. You could meet the cast of each Arrowverse show, and then do like a mini meet and greet. Basically, the meet and greet is you go in, you shake hands, they sign something for you, then they push you along. Because there were so many fucking people. Like, we literally had to avert the crowd to go around them.
Yeah.
Because there was so many fucking people just to get up there.
Yeah, that's really dumb for them to have like the signing stuff inside the convention center like that. They should have like another area for that because walking that floor is almost fucking impossible.
They're out of room, man. They've thought about expanding the convention center
true.
really for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That's super expensive, though.
It's super crazy.
Yeah, if you watch my video, it literally takes, I mean, I sped up the video, but it basically takes roughly 10 to 15 minutes to walk across the entire floor.
Yeah,
and like, that's just the main floor.
Well, hold on.
And that's just from one direction.
And that's in the least trafficked area because it's near the, even though it's near the bathrooms and the food court, because nobody's really fucking with the food because it's ridiculously, it's like $5 for fucking water.
Yeah.
But like, there's just stuff that's
next to the gas lamp. So it's like,
yeah. So, but then like, if you're in the middle where all the fucking craziness is, you're looking at like a 30 to 40 minute walk from end to end.
So, Cronin, since this was your first Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, what was your overall rating of the experience?
I mean, honestly, it was mixed because the first night was kind of shit, and I didn't like the way they did certain things with the con. But overall, I'll probably give it like a solid 8.5. Only because like this some of the shit was just so disorganized.
Yeah.
It kind of pissed me off, you know what I mean? And it was like, it almost seemed like it was too packed. Like they sold too many fucking tickets.
Yes.
There's like times where you're trying to go, like going through the middle of the main floor, it was difficult for me to do because I don't like people invading like my space, and there's like no way you can not have somebody touch you or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just there was too many fucking people in that fucking space.
Yeah, that was kind of my complaint last year was that there's just way too many. Like, for me, like taking pictures of cosplayers and stuff like that, it's fucking impossible,
that's
basically.
impossible,
yeah, because there's no area where you can take pictures, and even if you go outside of the con, there's no room because there's so much fucking events going on outside of the thing too.
Yeah, and this year they shut down the stairs that are outside the con.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you can't even take pictures on the stairs anymore. So it's like, dude, what the fuck? That's why you don't see that many cosplay pictures because there's literally.
And plus, it's so fucking hot.
Yeah.
At least when we went.
It was weird. Like some spots were fucking super hot, but when you got closer to the water, there was a breeze, so it was fucking cool. It was just fucking weird.
All right. And Old Ninja had been obviously too.
Yeah, I've been twice. I've been with you twice.
Yeah.
So the second time I didn't have a pass. So that's how I know.
Ghosting.
Yeah, that's how I know the events outside were dope. Because that's where I spent most of my time doing the free shit.
Yeah, I kind of thought about going with you guys just to go out onto the thingy.
You could have.
So maybe next year.
It would have fucking helped out for sure. You would have covered a lot of stuff. You would have seen celebrities just roaming around.
Well, apparently in the chat room we have a contact on how to get other stuff.
Ooh.
There you go.
The plugs.
Yeah, make sure you slide in them DMs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I feel like this con was actually not as big as the 2015 one when I first went with Prodigy and Mayhem. I mean, because like the FX area, if you remember where that was, in between the convention center and the hotel, it wasn't as big. There wasn't as much stuff there as last time. Like there was the shit that you were almost freaked out on, the American Horror Story shit, because it had the clowns and you almost fucking pissed yourself.
Yeah, that was all bad.
Yeah, that area was smaller. I mean, there was stuff there, but not nearly as much as when we went. And Sony didn't represent this time. I did not. There, however,
Sony's never represented at any of the ones I've gone to.
no, they did when we went to. So we saw Xbox. They had that one spot off to
gaming
the side. across the way, technically exactly where we went to the Amazon Video Experience, Sony had they had the you don't remember this? They had the Call of Duty 3 booth. Not a booth, it was a fucking trailer. They had a trailer you can go in and play. It's not as big as the Xbox one, but they're still there representing. I didn't see either of them. Granted, there was one hotel we did not go into that may have also had some con shit, because there was a bunch of con goers going into that hotel. Could have been for panels, could have been for other shit. I don't know.
Coke and hookers.
Possibly. But also, when we went, Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony were there. They all represented. They all came hard. I barely saw them there this year. Yeah. Also, like the access, like Kronos was saying, it felt more restrictive. Like before, the stairs had full of cosplayers just sitting out there taking pictures, taking a break. They would not let people through that.
I'm honestly, I'm not surprised about the gaming aspect, because we're in the end of a gaming generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So them not coming to a Comic-Con. I mean, listen, Sony skipped E3.
Yeah.
Sure did.
For a good reason. So
yeah, I mean, they had, what they did have was on the exhibit floor, they had a booth and they were giving away fucking pool floaties.
Yeah.
Like a giant, it was a giant controller floaty. I'm like, I guess. Xbox, I didn't see at all, so whatever.
I don't see it at all either, because is it a console or?
Oh, god dang.
Let me get Stitch in here, because he's been patient, just kind of listening. I know we've done heavy, obviously, San Diego Comic-Con on this cast.
Balls deep.
I know we all finished Stranger fucking Things. Do we have time? Do we want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I can.
I loved it.
That's on y'all. I'm ready to go.
Stitch,
It's been like 14 weeks.
Yeah, so everyone did watch
Everybody
and finish it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. We sort of touched on it without giving away too many spoilers. Spoiler alert! My voice is kind of shot and everything. That's why I've been kind of super quiet today. My voice has been out of whack
You've
or
been
whatever.
sucking dick?
Oh, man.
So I enjoyed this season. It was really gory and violent. I mean that Mind Slayer thing was fucking.
The Mind Flayer.
Mind Flayer was fucking pretty nightmarish.
Yeah.
To say the least. That thing was very, very scary. I feel like I'm nitpicking about certain things that I might not have liked.
Go ahead.
Let me pause you real quick. So we're talking about Stranger Things. One of the most seen cosplays there was the Ahoy cosplay.
Yeah, basically Steve and Robin.
Girl.
Yeah, Steve and Robin.
Every 30 feet you'd see one.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, I enjoyed those two characters. I thought she was really cool. I feel bad for Steve because he
got fucked up.
gets fucked over every time or whatever because she ends up not being down for the dick team.
She likes pussy.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks for him because
I didn't see that coming for shit.
Yeah, not me either. I wish that I can't think of the name. No Tooth Boy.
Dustin.
I would have.
God.
I was like, man, just get him back with the rest of the group. I was like, I was tired of him being off with the Erica chick.
Well, that's how it was. That's how it was last season too. Like he wasn't part of the group. He was like hanging out the older dude.
He was Steve the whole time.
Yeah, but I was just like, I just wanted him to get back with the group because I was like, okay, where's he been? And he was over at summer camp and then with the girlfriend and stuff like that. I was like, all right, this is cool. But I kind of wanted him to spend time with the rest of the boys and stuff. I did not like the Erica chick. The Erica chick was annoying as
Which one was
fuck
that?
to me.
The
token black girl.
Oh yeah.
With all the sass and the fucking attitude.
That's Lucas's little
gonna make her
sister.
extra over the top black.
Well, she's in this like Kia commercial, and I fucking hate the commercial.
Oh,
so
the
much.
lemonade. She's in a lemonade commercial or some shit.
No, it's
or
not a lemonade commercial. It's like
I know what
a
you're talking about.
Kia patio furniture thing.
it
She's
is.
like,
I've
make
seen
way
it.
for the judge. I'm like, is that little bitch?
Damn, we're talking about 8-year-old girl. Right? Holy fucking shit.
Damn.
She plays a really good little bitch.
Damn.
I don't know, that little girl just rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, God.
Holy
Oh my god.
I know, I'm going to hell, man.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion on little girls.
Actually,
These are not R. Kelly.
I liked. You totally threw me off what I was gonna. I do think Hopper's alive.
Yes.
Yeah, I do too.
I think so.
Yeah, I kind of was like, oh shit, he's gonna die. I enjoyed the Russian dude. That was I thought it was pretty funny.
Wait, Alexi or a conspiracy? Bald Eagle.
He's
Terminator dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of Russians.
A whole bunch of them.
Terminator guy was hilarious because he was just fucking on
was fucking
a
everybody
slow
up.
walk everywhere.
Yeah, he was dressed like Arnold. He walked like fucking Arnold.
Yeah.
Yep.
He killed people like fucking Arnold. I was the
And
Terminator.
like the T-1000 one in Terminator 2 with the
oh
the
yeah,
top
yeah.
He had those mannerisms
Yeah,
too.
Hopper's he's the worst fucking powerless cop ever, and he's supposed to be like the chief police.
What are you talking about? He saved everybody. He's fucking dad bod hero.
Yeah.
He's fucking
Dad bod hero.
With his revolver in his 80s, like
Yeah.
fucking pink.
absolutely ridiculous.
What is it?
3 inches.
Hopper PI. Like he had the Magnum PI shirt the whole time.
Never did.
Couldn't get anybody on the phone. The mayor didn't fucking respect him.
No, but he fucking him
yeah.
got a mayor up. Though.
Yeah,
Like,
eventually.
you gonna tell me who that fucking dude on the bike is?
You know it's Carrie Ellis, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
From Princess Bride.
I forgot. Damn.
But I enjoyed it, and obviously there's
Robin
gonna
and
be.
Men in Tights.
and Saw.
It really wasn't until like later on after I finished the series that I realized that he was from Princess Bride.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the mayor. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's him. Fuck, he didn't age right.
Oh damn.
It'll be interesting to see now that I guess Eleven's powers are on timeout.
You know, one thing I wish they would have did is brought in the other kids of the group.
I was looking
like,
for. I was seeing
10 and 12 or
There's
some
like,
shit.
well, she's 11, and so we got to meet 8 last season. There's a prequel comic about number 6. So, I mean, I was looking forward to see other kids, but
Here's what got me. My boy Will has been fucking through it. For 2 goddamn seasons, he's been the host of fucking demon-ass alien shit, and now he's back. He's almost normal, except he gets the goosebumps when the Mind Flayer is around.
He got fucking spider sense.
All my boy wants to do is play D&D with his homies.
Yeah, but
and these motherfuckers like, nah, pussy. And he's like, come on, we need the fucking game.
This whole season should be called Hoes Before Bros.
I felt so bad, and Will was like, man, my balls haven't dropped, and I want a fucking game. And they were like, nah, dude, this pussy.
They even fucking like teasing and shit like that. It's like, just because you don't have a girlfriend or you're not into girls,
you're not
something
into
like
girl.
that. Yeah.
And then he kept getting mad. He was like, he missed out on time because he got tentacle raped and he got basically kidnapped, and he just wants to get back to gaming, being in the fort.
Back to how things used to be.
Yeah, go back to the way status quo because he missed out because they were playing and doing shit while he was missing.
Yeah.
They got to do that shit and he missed out. So he's like, why can't we game? Why can't we build our fort?
And then when he finally convinced them, oh, hey, we're gonna actually play some D&D, them motherfuckers like, man, I can't wait to get back to my girl's pussy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
God, I can't get on the phone.
Smell my fingers and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
Come on, man,
Yeah.
just play the goddamn game.
Hold on.
Mike should have got punched the fuck out because the way he was talking to Hopper the one time when
Oh yeah. He was like man to man.
Yeah.
I was like, what
You
the
gonna tell me about my girl?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, you're right.
Yeah, I was like, this boy is fucking. He ain't coming back.
But then also like so Mikey it's Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike, yeah, he had it bad, but then also homeboy with the good hair had it bad too because he got his ass fucking kicked like left and right. Like last season he got his ass kicked, and this season he got
Steve Harrington?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve. I
Steve
mean,
Harrington is the best mom on fucking Stranger Things.
nah. Steve got tortured. He thought he found him a new bae. Turned out she don't play for his team. So now he's
She
just
was
like,
kind of a dick tease with that though, because she was acting
Yeah.
like, hey, I was just a band girl, and I was all behind you. I used to
I had to
smell
check
your
you out.
hair.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to suck you off. And she was like, hey, hold up. I don't play that way. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I wasn't checking out you. I was checking out the other girl who was checking you out, and I was
Yeah,
finding out
I was
why
like,
she was-
what?
You better arch that back.
I was like, fuck, Steve can't catch a break because he got his ass beat last season. He got his ass
His
beat this.
ex-Wheeler's still rolling around with the other weed
Oh yeah, she is.
in front of him.
Yeah, well, they didn't really see each other this season.
A little bit,
last season, but still, he
Yeah,
can't.
they actually did cross paths.
But
barely.
you know who else?
in the mall.
You know who else really fucking brought it this season? Goddamn Billy. Billy was a fucking beast on these episodes.
Yeah.
He was trying to bang a MILFs. He was out there lifeguarding. He was out there rolling through in the Firebird. Dude was bringing, and then alien possessed, and then at the end flexing on the Flame Master. Like, you ain't gonna take fucking 11 from me. Billy was a beast.
And then he died.
Yeah,
But
what
what you gonna do? He ain't got magic powers. They ain't an X-Men.
I mean,
He had like a fucking fucked up backstory with
Child abuse, and domestic violence.
His mom left his ass. Like, I thought his mom died. She left him.
She left him
with the abusive dad.
I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like,
But the thing is,
And the dad brought a new daughter home and was nicer to her.
of course.
That's the thing. They don't like touch on that part. It's like, okay, is this his like actual sister? Is it half sister?
No, they told you that last season.
Yeah, okay, I forgot that.
That's why he beat his dad, because he didn't want to go look for him, because he's like, she's not. He says to his dad, she's not my sister, and then his dad slaps the shit out of him and says, you're gonna go out there and find your sister.
Yeah, Billy had a lot.
And then he's like,
going on.
apologize to your mom. And he's like, she ain't my fucking mom.
Billy had that mullet and was rocking it out in terms of like just being an intimidatingly scary alien possessed demon motherfucker.
It sucks because like a lot of the town he recruited, and a lot of them are pretty much dead now. They fucking turned into goo. And fucking Voltroned up. So it was all fucked up.
The horror was there. Like hardcore horror, and then the nostalgia was there when my boy Justin started doing the ballads on the motherfucking mic. He was talking about never-ending story. I was like, hold up.
I did not see that shit coming.
I didn't see it. I thought this dude was lying about his fake ass girlfriend the whole fucking season.
Everyone did. Everyone roasted him about the girlfriend. They were like, everyone said she was fake. Everyone said he made it up just to fit in or whatnot. And then she came through clutch.
She was like,
because she knew Plank's
poo.
She knew. She knew Plank's constant would save them all. It was fucked up because Dustin knew that everyone was listening to their conversation.
Don't matter.
She didn't know, but he had to share an extremely private part of his relationship with everybody else. Like the look on Hopper's face when they're singing, he was just like, what the fuck? That world, pretty much the entire world, possibly the universe, hangs in the balance, and y'all are singing the theme song from Never Ending Fucking Story.
Loudly. How about though?
On key.
Yeah. How about my girl Nancy Wheeler rolling through with the shotty?
She was
busting off shots on the motherfucking monster.
It was fucked up because they kept calling her like Nancy Drew and shit. I mean,
hold up. The shotty was bigger than her ass.
Yeah, but she still bucked it.
She weighs about 71 pounds soaking wet with boots on.
Yeah.
Wielding that shotty, doing reloading,
Back action,
snapping it back. I was impressed. Wheeler, I didn't see that from Nancy.
You didn't see that from Nancy because she held the gun in season 1.
But this was the shotty. She went to town.
Yeah, so in season 1 she had a rifle.
She shot better than Hopper. Real talk?
Yeah.
She
shot way better than Hopper.
Hopper's
but she had a bigger target than Hopper did.
Come on now.
Yeah, she kind of did though. I mean, giant fucking monster.
You got bigger than her. She's 70 pounds. Hopper like 400 pounds.
This monster was big enough to rip a hole in the fucking roof. How are you gonna miss with a shotgun at that range? Come on.
But she's 18 years old. Give us a
No, she's out of high school now. She's
That's what I'm saying. She's 18. Like she's a year out of high school.
She's like maybe 19. Either way, she ain't missing with that shotgun.
Give my girl Nancy some goddamn.
Oh no, I give her props, but I mean you gotta give Hopper props. I mean he's shooting Russians.
Hopper's
trained Russians.
Hopper's trash.
Nah, bro.
I mean he's fighting a Russian Terminator.
Hopper didn't even have the balls to go after Beetlejuice Bay.
He was shooting his shot. How many times did he ask her out? He asked her out like 11 times.
He tucked his fucking sack before he did that shit.
No, first he respected her boundaries.
Fuck her boundaries.
She was still.
He should have been clapping them cheeks.
She was still hurt over losing what's his name from the Goonies the previous season.
Don't matter.
She was still in fucking like
Barbara?
PTSD. No.
Bob or whatever.
What's the name?
She lost
boyfriend.
Samwise. Samwise fucking died.
Hopper.
So Hopper gave her space. But he still slid in her DMs.
Hopper
not as much.
Smell no pussy.
You see, this is what you keep saying that. He's not like you where you sliding in every 30 seconds in the DM. He did it like once a day. put it in
She was
feelers
talking
out.
about moving out of town on his ass.
Yeah, he didn't want her to
like,
move.
nah, you gonna slide up and down this. That's what you gonna do.
Now that's gonna be my problem with season 4, because I think they probably it would have been good, and I'm scared for season 4 because I think it's not gonna be as good as the previous 3, because it's like, okay, they're leaving town? Why the fuck would they ever come back to this fucking crazy ass? There's gonna be of a small.
There's gonna be a reason.
Going, in fact.
I mean,
I'd go anywhere, but I ain't never coming back.
I mean, if it's a chance to save Hopper, they'll come back.
Fuck that. Chalk it up to the game.
Well, apparently,
Damn.
Hopper's in Russia because like
No. We don't know.
Yes.
We don't know if it's Hopper because it could be Dr. Brenner.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Because we were never shown how the Russians found out about Hawkins. It's very likely that Brenner ratted Hawkins out to them just to get out of the country or get some kind of deal with
shit
them.
like that happened, I'll be watching on CNN and be like, man, that sucks. What's going on in California? I ain't never going back to Hawkins.
No, I'm saying Brenner probably left the States. He's probably in Russia. They probably used him and then locked him up.
Eleven's moved out. So is Mike and his.
His family. Mike Will and his family, and then they took basically care of 11. It's funny to me that they never call her Jane.
No.
That is her name,
Wants to
technically.
be called L or 11.
Yeah, they all need to fucking move out. Like, why would, all right, Max, her stepbrother got fucking flayed by the fucking giant squid. And fucking, so now fucking their family's in shambles, all because this crazy shit that's happened for 3 fucking back years.
Hold on, Max wasn't there for the first 2 years.
That's true.
But then you also gotta think about
first year.
At least half the fucking town is fucking dead because they became part of the fucking Slayer.
They fucking transformed.
They were
up.
talking about it on the news. They were like, 50-something deaths. Or whatever.
Yeah,
We
they
got
talked
to
about
go.
on the news, but they didn't say monster. They said it's some fucking accident or some bullshit.
You got 50-something deaths in your fucking neighborhood. You staying?
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably 50 deaths every fucking month in my neighborhood. I don't even know.
Nah.
I don't know.
Like the fucking malls all destroyed and shit. Like, fuck it, I'm out.
The one mall is gone.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, the mall's gone, but you can rebuild the mall, so fuck that.
Yeah, but the mall mysteriously fucking get destroyed. Oh man, I'm fucking out.
I mean, it's not the mall didn't get completely destroyed. Only a couple stores. They got insurance. That shit will be back.
Motherfucker. I just love this fucking season. I've loved every season. This is a great show. And besides the Wonder Years, I can't think of anything that fills my heart with more 80s awesome nostalgia. Or nostalgia period, not just 80s.
I think this gives me way more nostalgia, especially the mall with because we were the first to grow up with those kind of malls. After the strip mall, it became these fucking micro, whatever they call the fucking mall, the big mall.
Big market malls.
Yeah, those things. They brought back stores that we haven't seen in a while. Like a lot of stores disappeared. Like they brought back Sam Goody, even though there's still a hot dog and a stick because there's one at New Park. There's a hot dog and a stick. A lot of places lost theirs. They don't have theirs anymore. They had what was it? Fucking Orange Julius. Mm-hmm. It's hard to find one of that shit. They had a bunch of other stores there.
They also showed how the mall fucked up the small businesses.
Oh
at the beginning.
yeah. I mean, but that was an actual thing back in the 80s, switching to the 90s.
So you know what's hilarious is that that's still happening right now with Amazon and shit.
Oh yeah,
it's the same complaints. And now Amazon is literally buying up malls.
Yeah, they're killing them all.
They have brick and mortar Amazon stores.
Yeah, but Amazon buys up malls for
distribution
warehouse space.
The big ass.
Because they're all close to
highways
highways and shit.
Oh hell yeah!
It's funny. Somebody's in chat room. They're called Via's Minds. They're like, "Why are you guys live when people are sleeping?" Because this show is dank as fuck.
Hell yeah,
for
yeah.
adults only.
It depends. It depends. Yeah, it depends on where you are. We're in the West Coast, so a lot of people on the West Coast are still up.
West Coast of the United States.
But if you're on the East Coast, then you're probably just waking up.
You're probably still asleep.
No, you're probably just waking up for your job. You gotta catch fucking subway and
It's
shit.
like
Get there.
3, 4 in the morning.
right there.
Damn.
Only 3 hours.
Takes a long time to get to work.
God dang. I think this brought more nostalgia for me personally than Wonder Years.
Okay.
They brought it hard. I mean,
Well,
they
Wonder
brought
Years
back
came
the
out when I was
style.
younger, so
Huh?
I said Wonder Years came out when I was that age. So,
Oh,
Wonder Years was like late 70s.
Was it?
Early
No,
eighties.
it's the 60s.
Oh yeah, it was
okay.
60s.
Well, when it came out, that was in the 80s, right?
Yeah, late 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s lasted until, but this, I feel like Stranger Things captured the essence of the 80s extremely well.
oh yeah.
Especially like the movies and shit that was there, the way the malls were springing up and the stores that came with it.
I guess funny how like a lot of stores are carrying like Stranger Things merchandise now. Like I think BMX has like a Stranger Thing bike that they're releasing that's
Nice.
like a throwback to their bike styles from the 80s and shit like that. It's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, this bringing back a lot of shit that a lot of people going for.
These actors, these young actors, are going to have so many fucking opportunities. We already saw 11 in the this year's Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a little nervous that I wouldn't like her as much because I didn't like how they did her in Godzilla. That whole family.
Oh yeah, all the humans were fucking dumb.
Yeah, but in this again, 11 is awesome. I want to see her in more stuff. All the kids.
Yeah.
Will, Dustin.
I really hope they do have really. I mean, I know the kid who plays Mike, because he's in Carmen Sandiego. He's in It.
Yeah, he's it. He was.
yeah, it's in it.
So I mean, he's probably gonna take out too. He'll probably.
we got a new
major
trailer
star.
for it, which looks fucking
Oh, that's right.
crazy as fuck.
It had a panel at fucking Comic-Con. One of the like early panels was they dropped the trailer and shit, and they had the cast on.
I like to see like maybe Saturday Night Live do a skit where they have Millie Bobby Brown and Bobby Brown like talking to each other.
I don't want Bobby Brown anywhere near that young girl. That motherfucker needs to stay 50,000 feet away from her.
Yeah, it's kind
I'm
of
sorry. Bobby Brown.
We got to keep Drake away from her too.
No, Drake is a motherfucker.
That's some shit right there.
All right, I know we didn't get to everything, but
We gotta wrap it up.
yeah, I was gonna say let's wrap it up for tonight, and then we'll certainly come back. We had to squeeze a lot in, you know.
San Diego Comic-Con had a bunch of fucking announcements this year this year.
Yeah, Stitch,
They always do.
Stitch, what you got populating?
Just dealing with the pregnant misses and
Oh, that's right.
dealing with crazy just
Mood swings and
Yeah.
food cravings.
the freaking Roomba got stuck under the bed and she thought that someone broke into our house
shit.
and stole the Roomba. I almost lost my fucking mind.
I heard if you punch them in the face, they calm the fuck down. That's true, right? I mean, you've had a pregnant.
Oh, no, I'm not
pregnant.
Oh, shit. Other than that, still doing the mini boss thing, I guess, for Friday or whatever. Is
yeah,
that still
yeah.
on?
Wait,
was that next
I
Friday?
think that's next Friday.
Oh, my dates might be all fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
We'll figure it out.
Well, Zuck did something to me, so let me look.
Other than that, just playing Rainbow Six. We'll talk about that next week.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been fucking beasting on some Rainbow Six and posting some videos and stuff. That game is fun. And Division drops some new content, and so Old Ninja and I will probably try to twitch out some of that playthrough.
All right, Blue, what you got?
Dude, fucking Kronos' keyboard is fucking tripping me out because I keep seeing it.
The visor?
Yeah, I keep seeing it from the corner of my eyes. I'm like, is there fucking smoke over there or some shit?
So I don't know if y'all can see this on the live stream, but I got a really cool mechanical keyboard with RGB elements on it, and so it actually it goes back and forth.
Yeah, I keep seeing it out of the corner of my eyes and it's fucking with me.
It's got Cherry MX switches, so they're mechanical, and it's nice. Like my oldest daughter was like, "You got a mechanical keyboard?" I was like, "Yeah, clickety clack."
Yeah, so this weekend, the Sweetness and I are actually going out of town. She's got like some kind of training thing to do in like Indianapolis or some shit, I think it's. Yeah, so she didn't want to go alone, so I'm flying out there too. So I'll be out there next week. So I probably won't be on the cast next week actually.
You were the most travelingest couple without them kids. Like, all
Yeah,
this
great
going
without kids.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's easy to travel.
But no, so her work is paying for hers, and so I'm flying out there just to kind of hang out. But from everybody that I've talked to, they're like, there ain't shit to do out there in Indianapolis.
Drinking out fun.
Yeah, basically that's what we're gonna do. So we might hit up Chicago on Sunday. We might drive out there. It's like a 3-hour drive, but you know.
Stranger Things in Indiana?
It's in Indiana.
Oh, okay. Isn't Michael Jackson from Indianapolis? or-
Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
I hear that place is a shithole.
Yeah, I heard it was too. But yeah, so her and I gonna hit up Chicago. But yeah, so next week I probably won't be on the cast. But I've been kind of doing a little side hustling, trying to make a little extra cash here and there. But
Stepping and shit.
no, not for that. But
Working on
there's a company out there called TaskRabbit, and like basically you can hire somebody to come out and do certain tasks for you or something like that. And I actually applied for it, And over the weekend,
This sounds suspect as fuck. What you doing for this money?
Slow.
it's doing basic things like either like
sucking dick.
No, it's that's whole Isker. No. So Tasker is basically it's an app where, or TaskRabbit's an app where people can hire other people to come out and do things like run errands for them, like go pick up your dry clean or something like that, or like help out around the house, like to help with cleaning, or like somebody's moving, like you can hire somebody to help you move. So I've actually done like 8 tasks already, and I'm already up like $250. So one of my things I had to do, I had to like I had to go to like a CVS to pick up prescription drugs for somebody. I helped some guy move from his studio apartment. I did a little bit of plumbing work, like some guy was installing like a faucet inside of his bathroom, which was fucking easy to do. I've helped somebody else move like some dressers from their patio down into like where their garage door is. It's like an older lady, but like so one of my favorite things so far is one of the tasks I had on there was to be a photographer. Somebody paid for me to go to a fancy ass restaurant in the Four Seasons Hotel in East Palo Alto at a restaurant called Quattro, and I had to take pictures of my food for their food blog, and they paid for my food. My bill was $80 fucking, and they paid for my food, and all I had to do was sit there and take pictures. I didn't even have to use my camera. I had to use they said I was okay for me to use my mobile phone.
Damn.
And I got paid $17 for it.
Plus your meal.
But they paid for my meal, and they had bottomless mimosas that fucking day because it was Sunday for brunch. So that was pretty fucking dope.
What do you think they are? They Amazon? They think they're Amazon or something?
I don't know. I don't fucking know, but they fucking pay me. But what's cool is they were like, oh yeah, like they really love my pictures, and they're like, next time we have something in your area, we're gonna definitely hire you again. So
Nice.
that's kind of fucking dope. So it's just extra side money. That's kind of cool, yeah.
Good shit. Cronus, what you got?
What do I got going on? So I got to finish the Infinity Base coming along, but there's might be a hiccup, which we'll talk about after the podcast. It's kind of fucked up. Let's see, I gained a couple pounds, obviously, because I've been injured from doing jiu-jitsu. I've been still doing jiu-jitsu, but...
Plus, we ate a lot in San Diego.
Yeah, actually, I didn't eat that much.
I felt like we ate a lot.
But still, I'll a couple pounds, but I'll lose it pretty quick. I'm looking forward to dropping that weight again and getting back to, like, the low 170s, because, I don't need to be in the 180s. Other than that, not much going on. Take care of the kids and stuff. My oldest daughter, she has her, what do they call it? It's like a exhibit. She made some jewelry and some sculptures for the Art Academy University in San Francisco. So I look forward to doing that. That's this weekend. And I got to clean up like yard and stuff. But other than that, nothing.
All right,
Well, if you need help, there's this app called TaskRabbit. You can hire me.
I'm not paying you.
Now I'll do it for free.
Really quickly, we didn't talk about there's a Picard museum that they had at Comic-Con because they also announced, this ties into the death of Jeremy Kemp, which we talked about earlier. The Picard Museum had a picture of Picard's family, and he's in it, and he just recently passed. So RIP to him again. But they also showed the Picard trailer, which we didn't talk about. They showed it at Comic-Con, which looked really good.
Half my fucking money.
Yeah, but it's going to be on CBS All Access. You can check it out. I think it's on our page as well, our official page. You can check it out on there. Let's see, the Gilroy Garlic Festival is this weekend. I might try to go on Saturday, but it's going to be real hot there. We'll see who's going to roll with. I got some friends in town from Florida. Going to hang out with them. We're going to try some breakfast place, hopefully Stacks, if not something else. I already played one like portion of the new content from The Division, and they brought content. Like, it's not like it's not like those classified missions where you're one and done. It's like a whole new area with like a mission that has multiple submissions, and you gotta do it like 3 times. And you can watch me play it through right now on Twitch. You go to twitch.tv/BThenBTI. You can see that. You'll probably see more from Stitch, probably Cronus. I think other than that, that's about it.
Good shit. I'm gonna give.
Watching The Boys. Boys drops in 2 days.
Good shit. going to give a quick shout out. Annie Lee. This was a Oregon State grad student. Hit us up. Went to a San Francisco Comic-Con panel of ours. A couple years ago.
Damn, I fucked up.
She sent a whole goddamn link to her thesis about anime and diversity in anime, which is fascinating. I'm about halfway through it, but once we get all set up, maybe in the new studio, we need to call her or have her come on. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I fucked up because I think I was the first person to read that email, and I was amazed, like blown away, what you were saying. She actually dropped some knowledge. I didn't know that Ichigo Bleach was supposed to be Japanese, because to me, he was redheaded and he didn't look like a Japanese guy.
I assumed he was Japanese. He just dyed his hair.
Oh no, he didn't dye his hair either. It's natural. His hair is natural.
Kind of like Naruto.
I know his mom had red hair.
Or does
he have albinism or something?
Albinism?
Yes, where he's an albino. They call it albinism now.
Well,
no, he had red hair.
That wouldn't be red hair.
When you said he had blonde hair, red hair.
That wouldn't
He
be
said
blonde
his
hair
mom.
either.
He said the mom had red.
Oh, Ninja, that would be white hair.
Was blonde.
No, there's a difference between blonde and anyway. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm going to read the whole thing eventually. I was amazed that somebody wrote a thesis on a panel that based upon.
We inspired him.
Yeah, she said we inspired her, which is cool.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Like I said, we want to have her on, so just giving a quick shout out, and we'll revisit it once we finish it up. But it's also awesome to have something where we've done a couple panels now. Someone went back 2 years and then sent us a nice email about that.
The bigger one to have also the Bunny Man on, because he's a resident. He's one of our resident Asians, because we also have Mr. X.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, he's always welcome. And next week we got a whole bunch to fucking cover that we just didn't have fucking time to really get into, like some of this James Bond shit and
Lion King, all that stuff.
Lion King, Area 51, all of the stuff. But
Clapton
this was fucking awesome. I'm glad you guys got a chance to go to San Diego.
Yeah, Stitcher, the last one.
No, he did. He talked about his wife
first. No, San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, sure.
All right, take us on out, old ninja.
So you just listened to the Dankest podcast on the internet. We are Black and Black Times Infinity. Look at us on the interwebs at BThanBTI. That's BTHANBTI. Check us out on, I guess, Apple Podcast still, unless they take that down. Stitcher, Player FM, Radio Public. Yeah, Radio Public. We're on there. Our new and improved website at binheadproduction.com/BTI. Check out the new stuff.
We have legit news on there, y'all.
Yeah.
Like breaking fucking news for nerd shit.
Plus events if you want to come see us, because we have more events coming pretty soon. Check us out also on Twitch, like I said, twitch.tv/BTI, and then on Amazon. We have an app on there. Go on there, download it, check it out.
Skate. Let Will get some pussy.
Damn.
Does he
Feed the beast.
Does he even want the pussy?
That's a
though?
good question.
I don't know. But Disney got them brink trucks. That's all I know.
Leave wild animals alone.
Yeah. Don't fuck with buffaloes. Enough of petting.
Oh, shit.
Slap them cheeks.
No, I don't think you want that either. Not alien cheeks.